Is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
Now then, you're very welcome back to the Aviva Stadium. By the way, we do have a great competition for you on the show this week to celebrate the summer of football at Intersport Elveries, who've everything you need from kits to boots to footballs. To get your team kitted out, we're giving you the chance to win a €300 Elveries voucher. All you need to do is identify our mystery voice. Big fan of David on this year's Love Island.
What part of that quote do you not understand? I mean, I don't say things I don't mean.
Text your answer into 53106, all with thanks to Intersport Elveries, who are the official retail partner to the FAI and proud sponsor of the FAI Summer Schools. Stewie Byrne, good evening.
Hey Joe, how are you?
Very well, my friend. Kelleher, Collins, Duffy, Egan. We have Christie in for Seamus Coleman. We have Hendrick and Cullen in midfield. And Stevens at left wing back. We have Ogbene. We have Jason Knight, Callum Robinson. Discuss.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't think I would have made too many changes either from the game the other night. Frustrating game, I have to say. We didn't play well. Simple as that. But just, I do feel that this is a period of time that Stephen and the group have been looking forward to, because it's given them time to get to know the squad inside out. It's a period of time that I think he's been wanting since he's actually taken over the manager's job. You know, it's as long as you are going to get with a squad of players, with the exception of playing in a serious tournament. But I do think after the game against Armenia, I would be very surprised if they didn't sit down and speak about a couple of things, because there were a few things wrong in the game besides the obvious. But you know, little things like, I felt Josh Cullen was playing completely out of position during the game. I found that actually to be the most frustrating thing of all, and for the life of me I couldn't understand why someone from the bench wasn't running to the sideline to ask Josh to sit deeper and to get on the ball, and not expect Shane Duffy or Nathan Collins to be the two players dictating the pace of the game. So I think we came up against a very resolute Armenian team. I think they set out their stall. They were very aggressive in the first 10 or 15 minutes, and we just didn't really react to that. So you can call in the excuses all you want. It was 30 degrees heat. The players are tired after a long season. Unfortunately, you just won't get away with that anymore. So it's a quick turnaround to play against a Ukrainian team that, had they been at full strength, I would have been very, very worried, because I think they've been a seriously impressive side, especially in the games against Scotland and most recently Wales. But they've completely changed their team, with the exception of Mikolenko, who remains in the team from the other day. But I think that the only thing that would probably the only negative that would probably have on Ukraine is that they might be a little bit erratic for the first 10 minutes or so, but these are very, very good players, technically very, very good players, and there are players in this team that are there to prove a point, and it's been said quite often in the last few months, they're playing for something a little bit bigger than the game. But keep an eye out for the likes of Mudryk, number 14, Shakhtar Donetsk player, blonde hair, 21 years of age. He's been on the he's been widely tipped to move on for the last 6 months or so. He's a serious player. He's got serious plays in the left hand side, and I think he'll give us a serious headache to play. I think the fact that Cyrus Christie is playing is a positive, because I think he has the pace to match him, but he's going to have to call on the likes of Nathan Collins and even Ogbene in front of him to drop in and give him a hand when he really needs it. But we really do, Joe, we have to kind of put a few things right from the other day.
I suppose if we were to characterise what happened in Yerevan for a lot of the game, it was a case of Ireland struggling to break down a low block with 10, 11 players behind the ball. Ukraine will be that bit more on the front foot, you would think, so maybe Ireland at times can get at them a bit more directly, because certainly breaking down a low block is not something we looked equipped to do.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point, I have to say, and it is something that we do tend to struggle to do. And the reality is that we tend to be the underdogs going into those games, and we don't often play against teams that completely just shut up shop against us. But I take that point completely. Ukraine, you've got serious quality players. I mean, and again, even the players that have come into the team, they're coming in. You've got 4 or 5 Dynamo Kiev players. People will say, well, they haven't really been playing competitive football. They have been playing. They've been playing regularly every week for the last 6 or 7 weeks. So they'll be fresh as well. And I think when when you look at the Ukrainians and how technically good they are on the ball, they are all very, very comfortable on the ball. They're all, just even looking at the drill that they were going through there in the warm-up, with the exception of the two centre halves, 9 players were effectively involved and they were moving the ball well and all very comfortable, left foot, right foot, and they move in unison. So they're going to be a big danger.
What's your read on Knight in, Parrott out?
I actually probably would have liked to have saw Parrott play, to be quite honest. So I think he needs more games as he can get. So I don't know whether it was a case that Stephen maybe felt he just wasn't able to get into the game the other day, but neither were the other 11 players, to be quite honest with you. But maybe I think he's looking at Knight and saying, maybe he deserves his chance. I know people have been talking a lot about Jason Knight for quite a while now, and he hasn't really got that many starts. So obviously he's a good replacement for Parrott to come into the team, but all 11 really have to step up because we were poor the other day, and we done things I felt I haven't seen us do in a while. I thought our deliveries from wide areas was very poor.
Yeah, you'd have to say it's a broad term, but quality wise it was just poor. And in some respects we talk so much about Stephen Kenny. I think the players have to take a fair degree of the responsibility for what happened on Saturday. There were enough chances created, there were enough good positions and situations created, and at crucial moments just players needed to do better.
Yeah, I'll take that point. Yeah, absolutely. There was a couple of things from the other day that really kind of irked me a little bit, and Cullen was the one thing I really think
it wasn't deep enough for you. You wanted him to take the ball off the fence.
Off the ball, our News Talk listeners will often hear John Giles talking about a true midfield player. They have to constantly be coming from behind the ball because they have to be the one player that's always available. And Cullen for me has been the find of the Stephen Kenny era, maybe find is a bit harsh on Josh Cullen, but he has come to the fore in this 2-year period that Stephen has been the manager. And not only has he just come to the fore, I just think he has been the one player that has really stood out, that has real quality about him. He has a wonderful temperament. Yeah. He's a wonderful user of the ball, and we just didn't see enough of that on Saturday.
Well, hopefully we see more of it this evening. Beautiful evening in Dublin, have to say. Sun is setting, still very bright here. It feels like proper lovely summer's football evening. It is gusty, it is windy. Wind going across the pitch as opposed to with either side end to end. Ukrainian fans to our left, and there are plenty of them there, and they're down at that low level, and so they'll be very much in touch with their players and the players in touch with them, and they'll be very conscious of each other, and there are a lot of emotions at play, as we all know. We're going to take a short break, and kick-off is next.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Guaranteed Irish business members continue to sustain jobs and communities across Ireland.
Like Manguard Plus, Ireland's leading security company. We provide everything you need, including security officers, live CCTV building monitoring and alarm response. And did you know we now provide full installation and maintenance? So visit manguardplus.ie for all your business security needs. And look out for the G, guaranteedirish.ie, altogether better.
FBD Insurance knows this sound spells trouble for van drivers. But if you're an existing FBD customer, you'll get 15% off a new van insurance policy. It's how we're keeping you and your van on the road. Visit fbd.ie or contact your local branch. FBD Insurance. Support. It's what we do. Terms and conditions apply. 15% discount available on new commercial motor policies only when an existing FBD farm, business, car or home policy is in place. FBD Insurance Group Limited, trading as FBD Insurance, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland. Commercial motor insurance is underwritten by FBD Insurance PLC.
Behind many roads and hills, in a land far, far away, there was a car with golden handles.
We don't tell stories. We make the Dacia Sandero. Reliable, flexible and great value for money. Now with attractive design, plenty of space, the latest technology and advanced safety features. Winner of the Irish Compact Car of the Year in the 2022 Car of the Year Awards. Discover the Dacia Sandero. Dacia. Good thinking.
Our grandfather founded Stafford's Funeral Homes in 1953. Generations later, the people we've met and the lives we've helped to celebrate continue to be our inspiration. That's why Stafford's now have some of the most comfortable facilities in Ireland and provide more choice and control for families. Inspired by our grandfather, Tom Stafford, we are proud to serve our community with the highest standards of funeral care. Stafford's. Trust our family to take care of yours.
your constipation these days, Patsy?
Oh, I've been taking Fibrogel. It's full of fibre, which naturally relieves constipation and helps maintain regularity.
Fabulous. My constipation is much more mild, so I take the chewable tablets from Fibrogel.
Oh.
Super convenient. Just pop it in your mouth to make number 2 a little less of a to-do.
Mum, Patsy, I am never coming to tea with you again.
Fibrogel High Fibre Orange Granules contains this. Bagula Husk, always read the label. Fibrogel Fibre Chews is a medical device, always read the instructions.
We love summer at Dunnes Stores with fresh picnic ideas, any 2 for €4. Think tasty salads like fruity couscous 200 gram, paired with our Cajun chicken breast slices 140 gram and our range of Irish ham slices. Mix and match any 2 for €4. Plus, with our 10 off 50 grocery voucher, you save even more. Which means every trip to Dunnes Stores means better value. Dunnes Stores, always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used on next grocery shop of €50 or more.
Guaranteed Irish business members continue to sustain jobs and communities across Ireland.
Gifts.ie is Ireland's leading gift delivery company for over 20 years, allowing you to order unique gifts and hampers directly to your recipient. From birthdays or corporate events to personalised gifts and cards for that special someone, there are thousands of options to choose from. Visit gifts.ie and send a gift today. So look out for the G. GuaranteedIrish.ie. Altogether better.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Sky, proud partner of our women's national football team. Out-believe together and we can go anywhere.
You're welcome back to Off the Ball. Extraordinary moment as the Ukrainian national anthem is played to our left. Ukrainian fans are standing, flags in the air. Ukrainian players draped in their country's flag. The whole stadium stands in applause. You won't be surprised to hear now the Irish national anthem.
Charged evening at the Aviva Stadium. A huge Ukrainian support inside for this Nations League clash. Over 2,000 Ukrainian supporters down to our left-hand side. And no doubt many thousands of the Ukrainians living in Ireland now watching on tonight. All the Ukrainian players out on the pitch at Lansdowne Road, draped in the Ukrainian flag. And they're going to gather just in front of the two technical areas beside the blue and yellow Ukrainian flag. The word peace between that and the tricolour, and the two sides gather for their photos ahead of kick-off on what is a beautiful sunny summer's day. Not the balmiest of evenings. There's a good breeze blowing across the stadium, and we are almost set to go with the Republic of Ireland in their green jerseys, white shorts and green socks, showing two changes that suffered that shock defeat to Armenia in Yerevan on Saturday. Seamus Coleman, the Irish captain, is ruled out through injury, though he is here just down below us in the dugout. He's replaced by Cyrus Christie, while there's also a recall for Jason Knight, who comes into the side in place of Troy Parrott. So the Republic of Ireland side, Caoimhín Keller in goal, back three of Nathan Collins, the captain for the night, Shane Duffy and John Egan, Christie, Cullen, Hendrick and Stevens across the middle of Bennett, Knight and Robinson are the front three. The two captains, Shane Duffy and Mikola Shaparenko, meet on the halfway line are having their final words with the referee, Filip Glova of Slovakia. All Slovakian officials. There is VAR in operation tonight and goal line technology. And the two sets of players are going to gather around the centre circle, and I think they're going to swap sides as well after the coin toss. The Ukrainian side, it shows 10 changes from the team that were beaten so heartbreakingly by Wales in the World Cup playoff on Sunday. Their manager had indicated they were going to make widespread changes, and the only player to remain is Mikolenko, the Everton full-back. Andre Lunin is their goalkeeper, so we have both sub-goalkeepers from the Champions League final on the pitch tonight. Quivin Kelleher of Liverpool and Andre Lunin of Real Madrid. As I say, both sets of players are gathering around the centre circle for a minute's applause in solidarity for all those in Ukraine.
Let's give it up for the boys in green one more time.
Everybody around Lansdowne Road on their feet. It is show of support and solidarity for the Ukrainians inside the stadium and watching around the world. An incredibly difficult period for these Ukrainian players to come out and have to represent their country. 2 World Cup playoffs. They were outstanding against Scotland and just couldn't quite get the job done against Wales, and they somehow have to try and get themselves up again tonight for a game in footballing terms that is of massive importance, particularly for the Republic of Ireland, still waiting for a first ever Nations League victory. There's no doubt the defeat in Europe had a huge setback for Stephen Kenny, who had expressed hopes of topping the group. Well, that looks a long way away now, and the Republic of Ireland really need a victory on home soil. What would be a first competitive win in Dublin since all the way back in 2019. The referee blows his whistle, all the players take the knee. The Republic of Ireland are going to play from left to right in this first half. There's a decent crowd at the Aviva Stadium. As usual, the premium level's a little bit longer to get filled up, and it's Ukraine who get us underway, attacking all in yellow down to our left-hand side, and it does look right from the start, Stuey Byrne, that it is a back three that they're going with tonight with all the changes to their team.
Yeah, well, it'll be the same system that we've adopted pretty much in the Stephen Kenny year. It'll be that kind of a arc of a back five, won't it? And the Stevens pushing on this particular occasion. Cyrus Christie's got a huge job on his hands tonight against Mudryk, who, in my opinion, I think he's going to be one of those players when 2 or 3 years' time we'll be saying to remember we got to see him in the Aviva, because I think he's pure quality, a little bit naive, he's full of pace and power and constantly just wants to take players on, but he's going to be a real threat. But look, it's a great opportunity for Ireland to kind of put right that wrong from Saturday. I think we were a little bit rusty, weren't we? It was very warm. I know that there's been a gap from the end of the season, but there's no excuses tonight. It's a perfect evening for football. There's a great crowd in here, and good opportunity for Ireland to kind of get back on the road again.
A lovely turn in the middle of midfield from Jason Knight, and he's driving forward 20-30 yards, releases Callum Robinson, his touch brings him back, and then the defender gets back and manages to get the ball to the goalkeeper Lunin. The offside flag goes up on this near side. Callum Robinson looked rusty on Saturday. He looked rusty again there when Jason Knight played the ball through, but that's why Jason Knight is in this team. The energy he brings when he gets that ball, he can skip through defenders, he can put the head down and drive forward, and he almost created an early chance for Ireland.
Yes, look at the replay again. Robinson wasn't even expecting it, wasn't he? He made the run okay, and Knight, a wonderful surging run from the centre circle, beating 2 players in his wake, and Robinson just wasn't ready for it. But it's a good start from Ireland. The crowd are up for it. Got us going. Cullen now for me is starting where he should have started on Saturday, coming from behind the game, the deeper midfield. He's like our quarterback, for want of a better phrase. I think he really makes us tick.
Ukraine have left the likes of Zinchenko, Malinovsky, Karavev, Matvienko on the bench. Yarmolenko, who scored that own goal in Cardiff, isn't even in the squad, so it's a very inexperienced Ukraine side. 4 of their back 5 have just 1 cap. They've gone on a bit of a world tour over the last few weeks, a world tour of peace, to try and get themselves into shape for their qualifiers, and they played a friendly against Bahrain and the likes of Popov, Bondar, Sirota, all of their back 3, all with just 1 cap. So an opportunity for Ireland to put some pressure on them very early on. And again, it's given away by Sirota, intercepted by Jeff Hendrick, who's taken a lot of criticism, a lot of it I think unwarranted since the performance on Saturday, and now it comes tonight again, who quickly gets it over to the far side of the pitch, which has just fallen into the shade in Dublin. And Ireland have it. Knight again skips through 2 challenges, cutting in from the left hand side, takes a shot on right-footed, hit it on the half volley, didn't get any great power beyond Jason Knight, and straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. But a really energetic start from the Derby County midfielder.
That's a hell of a start for Jason Knight, isn't it? On that occasion, found himself pinned in on the left-hand side under pressure.
Right in on the goalkeeper Lunan. There was Callum Robinson, just about from on his goal line, managed to sweep it clear, but now Cyrus Christie takes the ball away from Mikolenko, swings it into the area. Lunan dives down low and claims the ball on the edge of the 6-yard box. 3 minutes gone, still scoreless, but Ukraine haven't been able to get out of their own hand.
Yeah, well, it's just a start that Ireland wanted. The crowd are certainly up for it, and you can see the Irish team really feeding off that. I think it's important, Nathan, that this is effectively a brand new Ukrainian team. We need to really put them under pressure. Don't give them opportunity to settle, because they will come into the game at some stage, and you couldn't have asked for a better start from Ireland. Look really, really hungry. Jason Knight in particular looks very, very threatening, and good start anyway.
There's a free kick for Ukraine. As say, Zubkov has just gone down midway inside his own half, and it's just stalled the Irish momentum, and maybe just a bit of smart play there actually to slow this down and let Ukraine draw breath, because they have been under the cosh in the early stages of this game. And while it's a side with not a huge amount of caps to their name, there are 5 players from Dynamo Kiev, there's 3 players from Shakhtar Donetsk in this team, so at club level they know each other very well. However, Lunan has given it away again. This time it's intercepted by Ogbena, down by the byline, right hand side. Poor ball though, as he looked to pick out Robinson. But Ukraine look in absolute shambles at the back right at the start of this game. They just cannot get out of their own area.
We just spoke about it, Nathan. You know, it is important first 10 to 15 minutes that we really apply an awful lot of pressure and don't let this new Ukrainian team, you know, any foothold in the game. Now this is important for us, because this is, I think, where we've been poor in recent times from set pieces. Josh Cullen down the right hand side is going to take this corner. I think he's good at hitting an area, maybe lacks a little bit of pace on occasion, but the movement needs to be better. We've got plenty of ability in that box to get heads on ball.
Duffy, Collins, Egan, all gone forward for Ireland. Down to our right hand side, flicked on by Robinson. Whoever didn't get enough on that, and headed clear by Ukraine, but it's collected by Hendricks. Slides a lovely ball to Robinson on the right hand angle of the area. His ball is deep. Shane Duffy's there at the back post, but the header had to be made, and the header was made by Kakaraba. And now Ukraine come away in the counter attack, and this is where Ireland have always looked vulnerable. But look at the pace of Nathan Collins, who got back 40-50 yards to chase down Zubkov and somehow managed to get back and nick the ball away from him. Well, Nathan Collins, winning only his 4th cap for the Republic of Ireland, is going to be around for a long, long time in the heart of that Irish defence. Smashing defending.
Put on the afterburners there, didn't he, Nathan? I didn't realise he was that quick. He made a ball, but you know, probably 30 yards was it on the Ukrainian player. Incredible, you know, bit of pace, good recovery as well. It's good play from Ireland. You know, the corner was poor, but decent delivery into the back post. Shane Duffy was good defending to get them away, but it's a hell of a start now. Both, you can see the game is really, it's fairly lively.
Set pieces have been a bit of an issue in an attacking sense for Ireland, with no Conor Horan or Robbie Brady in the team. And again, Ukraine make the mistake at the back. A little bit of pressure from Ogbene on Bondar forces them to play the ball straight out of play. Ireland need to take advantage of this. Cyrus Christie went to take a throw in. The ball slipped out of his hand. The Ukrainians are saying it should be a foul throw. The referee, I think, feeling a bit of sympathy for Cyrus Christie, is going to give him another chance. It's right down in front of his manager, Stephen Kenny.
You speak about the set pieces, Nathan. It tends to be a habit from, you know, once you get one goal or get your head in the ball from a set piece, you tend to get into the habit of doing it. And sometimes you can get into a kind of a rut of making the wrong decisions, the wrong run, being a little bit, you know, lethargic, waiting for the good delivery to come in. You know, really the key about any set piece or any corner, any deliveries from wide positions, you have to have a hunger to get on the end of something. And we just haven't really been doing that as of late.
It's been a very positive start to the game after the disappointment of Saturday and that long trip back from Yerevan. Great energy from Ireland in the opening 7 minutes, but no real clear-cut opportunities so far. Still scoreless between the Republic of Ireland and Ukraine in what is the first ever meeting at international senior level between the two countries. Of course, they'll meet for a second time in just 6 days in Lodz in Poland. And between now and then, Scotland are going to be here at the Aviva Stadium on Wednesday night. Collins whips one in from deep, but no Irish player taking the chance, and the ball goes back into the arms of the Ukrainian keeper Lunan, and he then just rolls the ball forward to Sidorchuk, who is the Ukrainian captain for the night and their most experienced player, winning his 50th cap for Ukraine this evening. comes down this left-hand side, and for the first time, Ukraine get a little bit of possession. Sidorchuk rolls it to Mikolenko, the Everton man, who was gracious enough yesterday to take a voice call from Seamus Coleman. A couple of the Ukrainians now living in Ireland were brought to Ireland training, and obviously they were only a little bit interested in Seamus Coleman, so he got Mikolenko on the phone for them, and they were absolutely delighted with life as Lunan takes too much out of it, and had thought for a split second that Ogbene was going to be through. But here come Ireland again. Callum Robinson lays it back to Cyrus Christie, who probably thought his international days were over. Hasn't been a regular in Stephen Kenny's squads, but getting a chance today. Hendrick edge of the area, takes a shot on, takes a deflection, spins into the air. Robinson can't get there, and then it's headed back to the goalkeeper by Bondar from the edge of his 6-yard box. But every time Ireland go forward, the Ukrainian defence look all over the place.
At the moment, 8 minutes gone, 8.5 minutes gone, it's pretty much been Lunan, the goalkeeper for Ukraine, has put his team under a serious lot of pressure. Some of his kickouts have been poor, and some of his decision making from back passes has been poor as well, so Ireland's unable to really capitalise on it. But I think probably Cullen under a little bit of pressure here. You can see the difference he makes there. Even receiving the ball off Shane Duffy, under pressure he's able to get swiveled, getting his plane. He's on the ball again now. A complete opposite to what he was doing on Saturday. For the life of me, I can't understand what the tactic was on Saturday, especially when it comes to
Cullen. Again, 25 yards out, drills it towards the near post, and Lunan saves really well. Got down low to his right-hand side and palms it behind for a corner kick. But Jason Knight is making Stephen Kenny regret his decision not to start him on Saturday. He has begun this game like a house on fire. He's at the centre of everything good Ireland have done, and that's the first big chance. Would have been a cracking goal.
Again, another set piece, this time on the left-hand side.
Corner kick sent in, good pace on it. Lunan punches it clear, straight back out to the far side of the pitch again, where it's controlled by Cullen. And now Knight has it, stared down by one Ukrainian player. Cullen will get another chance. The Irish centre halves have all stayed forward. Out to Hendrick. Hendrick floats it to the back post. Collins goes up, wins the header. Flag is up on the near side as John Egan thought about tapping it in, but he'd spotted the flag. I'm not sure if it was for offside or was it for a free kick for Collins, just
possibly climbing on the back of the shoulders.
Up the back.
Yeah, the flag went up straight away. And again, Ireland with the keeper again looks very ropey, doesn't he? From that occasion, corner kick from the left-hand side end of Stevens. Keeper could have caught that, no problem. He's ended up punching it straight back to him. So I think that's something that we need to put this goalkeeper under a little bit of pressure.
Well, good to see Ireland taking some shots from distance as well and asking a few questions. We've been conceding too many from distance.
That's one thing we need to do a lot more of, Nathan. Absolutely. Take a little bit more chances. I think Callum Robinson has been the one player that has been doing that for us in the last year or so, but I'd like to see it from a few other players, because there's plenty of ability there with the likes of Hendrick. You see Knight on that occasion, he's got off to a hell of a start, doesn't he?
This time it's Kelleher who, under a little bit of pressure from Mudryk, manages to clear his lines and gives the ball back to Ukraine. Big opportunity for Caoimhin Kelleher. I don't think anyone quite knows how the race for that goalkeeper jersey is going to go over the next couple of years. Kelleher suggesting that he might try and push and get a loan move. We heard the speculation with Richie earlier that Gavin Bazunu linked with a £10 million move to Southampton, though as potentially backup next season to Alex McCarthy. Bazunu out of these 4 matches, so Kelleher is going to get a run of games to really stake his claim. Now Ukraine just starting to get a little bit more possession of the ball, but not really going anywhere with it, is Shaparenko. Here he is again, midway inside the Irish half, drifting down the left-hand side, and just down below our commentary position is Mikolenko, and he then goes back to Sairota. This is the most passes that Ukraine have managed to string together so far as we head towards the 12-minute mark at a sunny Lansdowne Road. Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 0 in Group 1 of the Nations League. Stevens pounces over on the left-hand side, wins the ball back, and Knight is in close proximity. For once he can't get past the Ukrainian challenge, and the yellow jerseys win it back in midfield. Inside the centre circle now, short little ball played to Mudryk. Drives at the Irish fence, brings it to the edge of it. He gets the shot off, and he fires it over Caoimhin Kelleher's goal and into the small stand behind him, which was packed full of Ukrainian supporters, and the first opportunity for the Ukrainian supporters to get off their seats, but Mudryk never looked particularly comfortable.
Yeah, well, that's the danger, isn't it? The difference is the intent. Picks the ball up about 50 yards out, and within a couple of seconds he's 20 yards out from goal. He's already skipped by 2 or 3 Ireland players, and he's looking to get a shot away. That's the one thing I will say about him. He just sometimes as a player he's so quick. Just maybe needs to put the brake on. He lacks a little bit of quality or end product, but this kid is going to be a serious player, and certainly showed a little bit of quality on that occasion.
Ireland go long from the kick out. It looked like there might be a bit of an opening, but it doesn't quite work out, so they just are happy to keep hold of possession with Cyrus Christie. Nathan Collins pointing and telling him which way to go, and he goes short to Cullen. It then rolls it to Knight, who again just spins away from a challenge. Releases Stevens, has Robinson in the middle. Stevens drills it across, but it was straight into the keeper's arm, and again the offside flag goes up on this near side.
A much better move from Ireland. Again, coming from Cullen, receiving the ball, playing a lovely slide rule pass into Jason Knight, who I have to say is on fire at the moment. He's let that beat him, taking one or two Ukrainian players out of the box and he's out of play, and he's able to slot the ball down wide to end the Stevens. And we're in on goal, Nathan. And we just couldn't do this on Saturday. So a huge improvement from Ireland already.
Well, Ireland have scored 13 goals in their last 7 matches, but still just 2 in 11 Nations League games. Shane Duffy got one of them. Go on, Stewie, give us the other.
Oh, hit me again. Give me the stat again.
I'll come to it in a minute because we might get a third Nations League goal. Callum Robinson over on the left-hand side, going to have a run at the Ukrainian defence. Bit isolated, decide to send a cross in early, but Bennett was the only one in there, and he slices it high and wide, Callum Robinson. So it's a goal kick for Ukraine. I said we've only ever scored 2 goals in the Nations League. Shane Duffy scored one of them against Bulgaria, Stephen Kenny's first game in charge. Who scored the other one?
Brown.
Not so funny now, Stewie, are you? Not so funny now.
Not so funny, full stop. Alan Brown
didn't bring the jokes. Sean Williams.
So I was going to say Sean Williams next.
That was next.
Yeah.
Just on the
tip of your tongue. I had it written down in the back of my hand.
4-1 defeat against Wales. It started badly and it's got progressively worse for Ireland in the Nations League since then.
Surprisingly, we allowed Ukraine to come out there. They had a goal kick, and despite the fact that we had been forcing them into mistakes in their previous goal kicks, they let them out quite easy on that occasion.
Mikalenko back to Shaparenko on this left-hand side for Ukraine. Ogbene is tracking back. He just lays it off to Sirota, and then Mudryk comes short. Ball on the halfway line. Mikalenko closed down quickly by Christie, and the interception then from Ogbene, and now it's with Jason Knight, and he's about 40-50 yards away from the Ukrainian goal. Spins away from one challenge. Looked a certain foul by Popov there, right under the nose of the referee, but he decides to wave play on, and Ukraine are the ones who come away with it. Kakaraba over on the right hand side, bit of space over there, closed down by Stevens. Ball played in to Dumping, drifting out to the right hand side of the area, pulled back to Shaparenko. His touch is a tad heavy, and he runs into Jeff Hendrick, who manages to clear his line. You can hear the noise from the Ukrainian supporters every time the visitors come on the attack. Mikalenko sends the cross in, and the header is flicked on, but it's a long way wide from Shaparenko. But there is a familiar pattern of Ireland dominating possession. However, when they give the ball away, there's an awful lot of space.
Have a look, Nathan, how quickly Ukraine get bodies into the box. On that particular occasion, they had 6 players in the 18-yard box, not afraid to commit players forward. Again, looking at them in their warm-up, they were working on exactly that. Once they win the ball back, the way they transition, getting forward quickly and getting bodies into the box. On that particular occasion, I think it was a Shaparenko. The header was poor from him. Should have done much better. We've given away possession.
Mikalenko with the shot, and the Everton man fires it just to the left and wide. Shane Duffy was standing on the edge of a 6-yard box. He was telling Cyrus Christie to come short. Christie went long. Duffy played the ball anyway, gave it straight to the Ukrainian wing back, who just drove forward to the edge of the area, hit it with the outside of his left boot, but it was always spinning into the side netting and wide.
But the worry there, Nathan, from us would be, why has Shaparenko got almost 30 yards of space to run straight into?
And now Ireland go route one again from the kick out.
From our own goal kick, from our own kick out. You know, I know it's poor, it's loose from Duffy. But Shaparenko's picked the ball up, I imagine, but 50 yards out, 45 yards, 50 yards out. He's able to run 25 yards with no one closing him down. He gets a shot away. It's a hell of a strike as well. He struck it well. I think Stephen Keller would have had it covered, but Ukrainians doing to us what we've done to them for the first 10 minutes, putting them under pressure from goal kicks.
Here it goes. Jason Knight yet again drifting across to this right hand side, lays it off to Cyrus Christie. Christie floats a ball in, not a good one though. Bynum goes up to challenge the keeper, but it was easy for Lunin in the Ukrainian goal. Shane Duffy had found his way up there as well. He stayed down in the area, but Ukraine rolled it out quickly. 17 minutes gone. Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 0. If you're just joining us, Ukraine started Ireland started with a real energy and enthusiasm, led by Jason Knight, but Ukraine are coming back and now they're into the area, cutting in, and he got caught in two minds there. Mudryk from the left-hand side skipped easily around the first challenge, had to take the shot on from 10 yards. I don't think he expected there to be so much space when he got in there, and he ends up toe poking a pass to the right and wide.
But again, it's come from the fact that we've given away a poor cross. Cyrus Christie straight to the goalkeeper. Ukraine have broken very well. Shaparenko very comfortable on the ball. Gets Mudryk away 1v1 with Nathan Collins. There's only going to be one winner there. And again, we just kind of mentioned about Mudryk. That's the kind of issue that he does have. His end ball, quality tends to be a little bit poor because he's got so much pace. It's almost like he's thinking too quickly. He's thinking far way ahead of himself. And on that occasion, you can see what he was trying to do. Just drifted onto his right foot and passed it into the far corner, but just gotten it all wrong. But danger signs for Ireland. I think we need to be a little bit I'd like to know what, Nathan, I think we were guilty of this on Saturday as well. When we attack and move forward, I'd like to see us be higher up the pitch and maintain a higher line, just so that we don't get the opposition doesn't come at us so quickly and we get forced back into our own 18-yard box so easily.
So if you are just listening in and hopping into the car, the first 10 minutes was all Ireland, and they wouldn't let Ukraine out of their own half, really led by Jason Knight, who had Ireland's one good chance so far. He spun in midway inside the Ukrainian half, hit a really good shot from the edge of the area, but it was well saved from Lunin. But since then it's got quite scrappy from Ireland. The tempo has dropped a little bit. There's big gaps, and Ukraine are starting to come into the ascendancy with Mikolenko down this left-hand side, plays it to Mudryk. Powerful challenge from Nathan Collins, who gives a bit of a fist pump, John Milan style, to his teammates and says, let's get going again.
That suggests to me that he's a little bit frustrated with the fact that Mudryk is getting way too much space down Ireland's right-hand side, Ukraine's left-hand side. Probably needs to have a word with Cyrus Christie and say, listen, give me a dig out. Don't be getting forward willy-nilly unless there's good opportunity to get forward. Otherwise, sit in here with me and just help me give me a little bit of protection from this kid, because he's going to rip me apart.
Where we're stood here at the Aviva Stadium, we're stood right beside the Republic of Ireland opposition analyst Stephen Rice, who's busily working away just to my right-hand shoulder. Should I tap him on the shoulder, Stewie, and give him some Stewie Byrne advice on what he should pass down to Stephen Kenny?
Well, I'm underqualified and Stephen is overqualified, so...
Well, he's a busy man, particularly around the set pieces, I think, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. It's very noticeable up here, though. When Ukraine are in possession of the ball, the pitch seems quite small. When Ireland are in possession of the ball, there's massive spaces, particularly in the middle of midfield.
That's the difference, Nathan. That's the difference. You're dealing with with quality players who are very, very comfortable in their own skin. They can make a difference over 5-10 yards. I mean, looking at the clock here, 20 minutes gone. I think you have to, we've played well for the first 10 minutes, put Ukraine under a little bit of pressure. I think they've been guilty of being, a little bit sloppy, because it's a new formation, it's a new team for them. Could be in here, Ogbene down the right side.
Has Robinson in front of him. Robinson needs to stay outside. Ogbene takes the shot on himself. It's well blocked by Popov, and then a little nudge in the back. Was there from Ogbene? There was, as the Ukrainian looked to head it clear. Stephen Kenny shows his frustration with the assistant referee. Again, you look at Callum Robinson there when Ogbene managed to steal that ball away from Sirota. They're 2-on-1, and Robinson was almost in an offside position right from the off, and Ogbene just couldn't pass to him, and he was distracting Ogbene almost.
I was just looking at Ogbene. He looked like he didn't have it in his head what he wanted to do. Wonderful bit of strength to evade the marker. Then he gets his head up, and he's got 20 yards of space to go into, and you can see he's taking a touch. He's touch instead of just getting it out of his feet early and getting a strike away, or playing Callum Robinson in, and he just idles for that split second too long and allows the defender to get across and get a cover and tackle.
Long kick out from Lunin down to our right-hand side, goes over everybody's head, so it's a throw in to the Republic of Ireland, taken by Cyrus Christie. 30th cap for Cyrus Christie this evening. Is out of contract with Fulham, so I don't think he's going to be playing Premier League football next season. We'll see where he rocks up. Spent most of last season on loan at Swansea.
It's a good battle, isn't it? Sirota and Ogbene. You can see Sirota likes the physical stuff. Ogbene getting really tight to him, trying to roll him as much as possible.
He's only 21, Sirota. Bondar 23, Popov 23, so as I say, just 3 caps between the 3 of them. And they're all young men, and when Ogbene and Robinson put some pressure on, they have struggled, but Ireland just lacking that clinical edge at the moment. Still scoreless, midway point of the first half here at the Aviva Stadium in the Nations League. All our football coverage here on Off the Ball is with thanks to Sky, proud partner of the women's national football team. Out believe together, and we can go anywhere. We will be very quickly switching our attention to the women's team once this run of fixtures is over. They've got a huge game in Georgia to come at the end of the month, where they'll be expecting a victory to move closer to a playoff place as they aim to qualify for the World Cup finals. A lot going on at a lot of levels for the Republic of Ireland at the moment. Tomorrow night the under-21s will be keeping a close eye on Sweden against Italy, when any positive result for Italy would guarantee Ireland at the very least a playoff place. But right now we've got to concentrate on Ukraine, and a gap opens up 25 yards out and the shot comes in, but it's dragged well to the right and wide by Dovbyk. But again, that gap between the back three and the midfield suddenly becomes a wide open space when Ukraine come on the attack.
It's again very, very similar to the Mudryk opportunity earlier on, or even the Mikalenko one. 22 yards of space to run into, Nathan. You know, we have this tendency to constantly want to drop deep right onto the edge of our 18-yard box and try to defend from there, and I think that's a habit we really have to get out of. If we're high up the pitch, be confident enough to stay high up the pitch, you know, and try and adopt an offside rule or whatever the case may be, stay with runners. But that's the reason why we're losing possession, and our go-to position is to revert straight back to the edge of our own 18-yard box and allow Ukraine time and space to move into.
Robinson trying to squeeze away through three Ukrainian players, doesn't work out. Mudryk has it deep inside his own half, plays it straight into the path of Cullen, but it is Shaparenko who emerges with the ball, and Ukraine stream forward. However, the ball trying to release Mudryk was well read by Nathan Collins, and he taps it back to Caoimhín Kelleher. Almost feels like Nathan Collins has been playing in this Irish defence for years. There's going to be some interesting selection headaches for Stephen Kenny to come, as Ogbene thought he was free. The header backwards from Mikalenko just set Ogbene in behind the Ukrainian defence, but the referee decided there was a push on Mikalenko. Oh, there's nothing in that at all.
Nathan, nothing in it at all.
Nothing in it. He doesn't touch him. Oh, that's a shocker of a decision. Mikalenko goes up for the header. He's off balance. He falls awkwardly, but Ogbene doesn't touch him, and he would have been clear through on goal.
To be fair to Ogbene, he put the brakes on. The referee, look, must have had it in his mind. He's going to run into him. He's put the brakes on. Never a free kick for me, and we were in there. If it wasn't, if not Ogbene, Callum Robinson could have stepped in as well. We're in real trouble, Ukraine.
If you were being kind, you would say the Republic of Ireland aren't afraid to mix it up in terms of style of football. You could look at it another way and say they're playing a lot of Route 1 stuff. There's a lot of long balls over the top. I didn't think this was the Stephen Kenny way.
Yeah, but sometimes there's no harm, Nate. Maybe just to mix it up a little bit. You need to get the opposition thinking, are you going to go short, are you going to go long? Ukraine are actually, you know, talking about us holding the high line. That's what Ukraine are doing. Once they move up the pitch, the back three move up with them, and they don't drop. And you can, you know, that's something that we need to adapt as a goalkeeper after giving away another one as well. I think certainly when you put him under a little bit of pressure, his passing is very, very poor. Pulling on the ball now, he's getting us playing again. We need to get a prolonged period of possession now and trying to settle us down and get back into our shape, and that certainly won't help. It's an awful pass.
Yeah, crossfield ball does absolutely nothing for Ireland, and out of play for a throw in deep inside their own half for Ukraine. Yeah, Lunan very sloppy in possession. You would have thought a goalkeeper at Real Madrid would be a bit more comfortable when he has the ball at his feet. Did play a couple of times for Real Madrid in La Liga this year on their way to winning the title, and as I say, has been on the bench in the Champions League final. Referee's been a bit pernickety at times, particularly from an Irish point of view, it feels.
Hendrik and Shaparenko, just a little bit of a coming together there. Shaparenko wasn't happy with him. Certainly looked frustrated.
Dovbyk holds onto it, but now again it's given to Ogbene, who's bundled over, and it's surely going to be a free kick.
It's crazy.
How you can give a free to Ogbene a couple of minutes ago, and Keith Andrews and Stephen Kenny straight over to the fourth official. Ogbene is through, again, as a mistake by Ukraine, and he's just pushed over, and somehow the referee, who's standing 10 yards away, doesn't give the free kick. It's a shocker of a decision.
Yeah, that's crazy, absolutely crazy. I have to say, the refereeing as of late has not been great. Even when you look back at the Welsh game, should have been a penalty to Ukraine, and I think this over-reliance on VAR and referees are, I don't know what he's saying there, Nathan. It's a blatant push. You know, when you compare it to the Ogbenny one, it's twice as much a free kick as it is anything.
There's a Ukrainian player down, but Ireland are still playing. He's slowly going to pick himself up. Shane Duffy's saying to put it out of play. John Egan says, "You're grand, thanks, let's keep going."
He's okay.
Looked like a bit of a bang to the head. I'm surprised the referee didn't stop it. Duffy goes long over the top for Ogbenny, hasn't he got the pace to keep it in? I thought he might have been in an offside position. Flag stays down the left-hand side. It's pulled back for Enda Stevens. Over in the left-hand angle of the area, turns around and eventually the flag goes up about 15 seconds after Chidozie Ogbenny had got the ball. I thought Ogbenny was in an offside position, but I've no idea how they decided to suddenly then give the offside, unless VAR are in their ear, which they're certainly not meant to be doing on occasions like that. Anyway, it's got very scrappy over the last few minutes, and a bit frustrating with the referees, you can tell. 28 minutes gone, still Ireland 0, Ukraine 0. Ball on the halfway line. Ukraine all in yellow, in possession right now, with Shaparenko, who's looked very tidy in the middle of that Ukrainian midfield. Another Dynamo Kiev man. And rolled across to Popov, his club teammate. Up the right-hand side they go. Dobbik sets off in chase. Duffy read it well, and he manages to play it back to Kelleher. And now Collins, and the leak slip man plays it down the right-hand side to Christie. Ogbenny fighting away, but he's out-muscled this time by Sirota. And there's space again, and there might be an opportunity for the shot to come in. And Shane Duffy threw his body on the line for that one as the shot did come in by Dorzourczyk. And now Ireland win it back, and coming over the halfway line is Ogbenny. Looks to his right, looks to his left, chooses the wrong option. Total lack of quality there from Ogbenny. He could have picked out a pass on either side from Knight or Cullen, and he plays it straight to Ukrainian.
Never had it in his head what he wanted to do, Nathan. Very, very similar to the opportunity he had probably 5-10 minutes ago. 20 yards of space to run to.
Effort from distance is straight at Caoimhín Kelleher from Zubkov. And, well, listen, it doesn't take much opposition analysis on the Republic of Ireland to know that there always seems to be that pocket of space 25 yards out. We've conceded goals from a similar position against Luxembourg, against Azerbaijan, against Armenia, and Ukraine certainly haven't been shot shy.
That's a good strike in that occasion, wasn't it, from Zubkov? Always had it in his head. Good left foot, hits the target as well, 25 yards out, but just got back to the Ogbenny opportunity. It was a good chance when we were away. It looked like we had a 3v3 situation, but he just didn't have it in his head what he wanted to do next. I think he was trying to, catch eye contact with Callum Robinson. Callum Robinson had actually spun off, got the head down, trying to make up 20-30 yards to get a head of steam up, and never really kind of engaged with Ogbenny, and he was a little bit struggling, didn't know what to do. And it's another sloppy opportunity from Ireland gone astray.
Robinson, the latest Irish player to go to ground and not get the decision in his favour. Kakoraba, the right wing back for Ukraine, and back they go to Denis Popov. So Ireland, after that very promising first 10 minutes or so, whether we are creating chances, haven't done a huge amount since, and you'd say Ukraine has started to look the better side. Dorzourczyk, their captain, closed down by Hendrick. Out they go to the right again, and back they go to Popov. I'd say there's up over 35,000 here at the Aviva Stadium tonight, if not closing in on 40. Expecting pretty much a full house for Scotland on Saturday night. We'll have that game for you live here and Off the Ball, a 5 o'clock kickoff, and then the return game against Ukraine next Tuesday. The other two matches take place in September, when Armenia will be in Dublin and Ireland will head to Scotland. Ukraine starting to stroke it around now with a bit more confidence. Mikalenko cutting in from the left-hand side. Midway inside the Irish half now is Dorzourczyk. He thought about going over the top, instead plays a quick 1-2 with a centre half and gives it to Mikalenko to run in behind. Mikalenko steps forward, didn't fancy it on his right foot, still has it. Christie tracking him. Mikalenko goes down again. The referee's letting an awful lot go. I thought there was a little nudge there on Mikalenko, nothing given, and Ireland emerged with the ball, and now Ogbenny has it down the right hand side. He is tackled well as he looked, it seemed to draw the foul, and then manages to win the throw in as the sliding tackle comes in from Sirota. He wasn't going to go to ground. I think he knows he's not going to get the free kick at this stage, Chidozie Ogbenny, but again, if he looked up, there was probably a quick ball in over the top, and it's been a little bit slow when Ogbenny's got in possession of the ball.
Just sensing he's a little bit hesitant sometimes in his decision making, a little bit the opposite to the way he was the other day. I think he was fantastic on Saturday, probably Ireland's shining light, but on that occasion was a great opportunity to break quickly, and I think he just hesitated, taking an extra touch, allowing Shaparenko to get back at him to get a tackle away. And that confidence just not there at the moment.
Hendrick looking to release Robinson in behind, cut out by Bondar. Ukraine managed to win it back, and now there's some space for Mudryk to attack, and he brings it over the halfway line. He's one-on-one with Nathan Collins, 20-30 yards forward, drifting into the middle, however took too much out of it and ran into 3 Irish players eventually. Really, you would have thought he would go on the outside and try and test Nathan Collins for pace.
Again, that's what if you hold him up, Nathan, I think that's the key for him. If you can try and hold him up, don't go.
Oh, here's Callum Robinson in behind. Chance for Robinson, forced out wide, goes down inside the area. No penalty, says the referee. Straight away had the arms outstretched. Stephen Kenny has his arms outstretched in bewilderment. VAR, I'm sure, will take a look at that. The first touch from Robinson, I thought he was 2 yards clear of the defender. The pace wasn't quite there. The first touch brought him slightly wide, but what was that coming together?
I thought he got back at him, the defender. Now it's side on, and the referee could not have been in a better opportunity to see. He's right behind them. Haven't seen a replay of it yet. Don't even know if they're even looking at it. Looks like they're probably going to let it go, but I don't know. It didn't look like from where we are, Nathan. It didn't look like he caught him in any way. It looked like it was just coming together. Might have gone down a little bit too softly.
33 minutes gone. Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 0, and not quite happening for Ireland once again inside the final third. And Callum Robinson, unfortunately for a Republic of Ireland point of view, looks like a man just lacking in a bit of match fitness, even though he did get a lot of appearances for West Brom. The vast majority of them, as the season drew to an end, were 15-20 minutes here and there, and I just expected him to accelerate clear of the Ukrainian defender, and didn't quite happen as Stand Up for the Boys in green makes its way around the Aviva Stadium. Ogbene down the left-hand side. Has Egan got the pace to keep it in? His first touch kept it in, but his second touch dragged it out of play, and it'll be a throw into Ukraine right over on the far side of the pitch, the Ukrainian right. And again, another Irish attack comes to nothing as we see a replay of this, and I think the defender, he does get a touch.
He's won the ball there, Nathan, and then
there's a little clip on the back of the Achilles of Callum Robinson.
He's definitely caught him down the back of his calf. I just wonder, was Robinson already on his way down? I mean, we don't even know if VAR even checked it, did they?
It was Valeri Bondar who was the defender, who, as you say, when he first put his left foot out, got the slightest touch on the ball, but then I think Robinson might have been going down before he catches him on the Achilles. Either way, there's no penalty kick, and some Irish substitutes warm up. The substitutes didn't really pay off for Stephen Kenny in Yerevan. If it stays like this, we'll be hoping for a greater impact this time. Just a couple of changes to the Irish bench. Obviously, Mark Travers has come in, James Talbot has come in place of Gavin Bazunu, and Festi Ebezele finds himself in a matchday squad for the first time. Former Derby County, Udinese bound Wexford native. So we might see Festi at some stage. We can call him Festi because he has Festi on the back of his jersey.
I'm sure he'll allow it. There's another opportunity to have a look at that penalty decision. It did look like what you said was correct, Nathan. I think it was a pop-off in chase or Cacharaba. Certainly looked like he got a little nick on it, but as Callum Robinson looked like he's lost his balance, he's definitely caught him on the back of the calf. The referee couldn't have been in a better position to see it, so he's like Benny again.
Are you angry, Stewie? Are you angry about it?
No.
Not yet. Well, that's the barometer we use to judge.
Getting old.
Over on the far side, it's at the feet of Sheffield United's Enda Stevens, who has had an injury plagued couple of years, but whenever he's been fit, and he hasn't been fit a huge amount for Stephen Kenny, he's always been selected. I thought maybe he might make a change and McLean might get a chance, or maybe Ryan Manning would get into the squad, but he's stuck with Stevens again. Christie's ball down the right hand side straight into the arms of Luna, and Hendrick never really had a chance, and he rolled it forward.
Looks like he's frustrated with him, doesn't he? He's kind of waving his arms a little bit at Jeff Hendrick as to say, you know, give me something, put a bit of a 5-yard dash on.
Again, Shaparenko has a lot of space to bring it forward. He played it into the area. It was pulled back by Dobbik, and then the shot comes in and is volleyed into the back of the net from a long way out, and Ukraine lead in Dublin. Taras Kakaraba with his first ever international goal. The Ukrainians behind Caoimhín Kelleher's goal go absolutely wild. What a strike, 25 yards out on the volley, straight into the top corner. Nothing Caoimhín Kelleher could do, but was there an offside in the build-up?
Well, we don't know if there's an offside yet. Let's have a look at it. It certainly looks like he's level. They might have a look at it, they might have it, but whether or not they do or not, we don't know. But let's have a look when it comes back. It comes to Jason Knight, it's too easy for me. Kacheraba comes through the back of Jason Knight, it goes around way too easy. It's a hell of a finish from him, but I'm not too sure if they're checking the offside. But certainly there's no question that it's a free kick against Jason Knight. I think he's gone down way too easy. The left arm comes out. I've seen him give him, but for me in real time in play, I think Kacheraba hasn't done much wrong there. It's a hell of a finish.
VAR are checking the goal. 2 question marks. Firstly, was there an offside? It looked as though he was right on line, and then as the ball was played back by Dovbyk, there was a challenge on Jason Knight by Kacheraba. He certainly leant in on him, but was it enough for a foul? I'm not quite sure. What followed was right out of the top drawer, hit it on the volley, right-footed, crossed the goal into the top left-hand corner.
I think there's a chance this could be offside, in fairness. That's the only way I can see this not being a goal.
Now the referee is deep in conversation at the moment and is blowing his whistle and says it is offside.
I'd say it's by a fraction, Nathan, because it looked like he was level with Shane Duffy, but obviously in VAR, once they get the marker out, the red marker out, and the ruler, I'd say it's probably just an arm or something that was just ahead. We haven't had an opportunity to see it back on the monitor just yet, but Ireland get away with one.
Well, it would have been one of the best goals ever scored at this stadium.
It was a hell of a finish, wasn't it?
It was unbelievable.
To be fair to him, I mean, I thought the crowd were booing for the fact that he came to the back of Jason Knight. He didn't. I thought he was quite clever. But the finish, 25 yards out, just on the hop, just caressed it, didn't he, with a little bit of pace into that top corner. It made Caoimhín Kelleher look average, and we know he's not.
A huge let-off for the Republic of Ireland. It remains scoreless, and that was an incredibly tight call for offside. It looked on the initial replays though they may be in line, but VAR intervened, and with 5 minutes to go until half-time, it is still scoreless. It's been 100 miles an hour this game. There's been no real opportunity to pause for breath at all. It's been end-to-end, but Ukraine have certainly, as the half has worn on, emerged as the better team. They're creating the better type of chance, and Ireland, particularly in that final third, look short in confidence.
I think we're lacking at the moment, Nathan, with somebody that can maybe get a grip of us and say, listen, let's tighten up. You know, we're on 39 minutes now. Let's get us safe into half time. We're a little bit loose, a little bit open. We're getting pulled into a kind of a 1v1 game where players are individually looking to close down the Ukrainians, and we're getting dragged around a little bit. So 5 minutes to go. Let's pull us in tight and let's get us to half time.
Clearance from Ukraine towards the halfway line. Header won by Duffy. Space for Hendrick, 25 yards out. Ball got caught under his feet, and the Ukrainians got back quickly. And I think Hendrick may have caught Shaparenko there inadvertently. He stayed down. Ukraine coming to counter-attack. Ball through the middle, trying to release Dovbyk. Collins stepped across, slices his clearance, but he did enough to put the ball out of play for a throw-in deep inside the Irish half, over on the Ukrainian right-hand side. And I think it's Shaparenko who's down, and he looks to be in quite a bit of pain on the edge of his own area. Jeff Hendrick, just as he looked to release Callum Robinson, ball was a bit further behind than he thought. As he went to kick it, Shaparenko was there.
Look at that, it's literally a toe.
That is inches.
It's literally a toe.
Takis Kacheraba, and just his second ever international for Ukraine, almost scored one of the great Ukrainian goals there, but it wasn't to be. And right in front of all those Ukrainian supporters as well, behind Caoimhín Kelleher's goal, they went absolutely crazy. But it wasn't to be for Ukraine, and as we say, thankfully.
I mean, the most frustrating part of it, Nathan, was the fact that the celebration was allowed to go on. The Ukrainians had gotten back to into their half of the pitch. We were all set to tip off, and then the check comes. Why does it take so long? Well, the
alternative is that Ukraine are leading right now, Stewie.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll take it. Looking at that last Shaparenko, it looks like he's got it. I agree with you. I think he kind of caused it himself more than anything. Hendrick was on the ball and looked to offload. There's a bit of a gash on his right knee. I don't know whether that was the cause of it, but I think he'll live. He's a good player, Shaparenko, isn't he? He's got that real quality midfielder, very dynamic, able to pick the ball up deep, move into space. And the reality is, Ukraine have been very good. I don't think. I'm certainly not surprised to see that they've, technically been the better side. I think the best opportunity Ireland we're going to have in this game to kind of get, assert themselves in the game was that first 10 or 15 minutes, because it is a new Ukrainian team. But you have to give credit to the Ukrainians. They've certainly come into the game and they've used that technical ability. And
John Egan almost caught. The referee allows play to continue. Managed to pick himself up and put the Ukrainian off so that they weren't clear through and goal. But Egan didn't have a good game on Saturday and has struggled at times in this game as well. Ukraine have it down this left-hand side. Ireland get 10 men back behind the ball quickly.
Kacheraba again, Nathan, just capitalising on some bit of lax.
And he's chasing the ball down there. He's going to let it bounce out of play for a corner kick to Ukraine over in the far side. Inadvertently turned behind as the ball was played in towards Zubkov, and John Egan puts it behind for the corner kick to Ukraine over the far side of the pitch in front of those Ukrainian supporters, and they're not in any great rush to take it. 2 minutes to go until half time.
Just basics really, John Egan just a little bit guilty there of thinking he had too much time, and Kacheraba, as we saw minutes earlier against Jason Knight, he's hungry, he's snapping in and winning possession back.
So corner kick, they look to take it short, and they do take it short to the edge of the 6-yard box. It's pulled back to the edge of the area. Shot's going to come in, takes a deflection and comes out for another corner kick on this near side. You'd have to wonder how they're managing to play a ball right to the edge of the 6-yard box along the ground and no Irish player responding.
Well, I think he played it in short to Dobbik. I don't think Dobbik is meant to play it like that. I think he might have got a little bit too much on it, but it was a hell of a strike, wasn't it? It was on its way, and Nathan Collins just managed to find himself in the way.
Mudrick has come down to this near side to take the corner kick. He whips it in there, real pace on it, and John Egan manages to get ahead on it.
See the quality, Nathan, the pace of that delivery. That's something we don't seem to be able to emulate at the moment, but that's a hell of a ball. I think once you have a delivery like that, it's very, very difficult to defend against it.
So into the final minute, and it's gone very flat around the Aviva Stadium, and we've seen this before from Ireland in the Stephen Kenny era, starting the game brightly, good tempo, good energy, high press, and nothing's really happened then for the last half an hour. Jason Knight was leading the charge, has drifted out of the game. There's definitely been a lack of quality from Ogbene and from Robinson, and right now Ukraine certainly look the better team. Another big 45 minutes coming up for Stephen Kenny as Christie passes it back to Kelleher. He sends it up towards the halfway line. Ogbene goes up, but it comes off the head of Sirota, falls for Jason Knight. Play on, says the referee. Callum Robinson, I think, came from an offside position. He's free down the right hand side, and eventually the assistant referee's flag does come, and Callum Robinson has not been on it at all today.
High line from Ukraine. See that? Not afraid to make that high line. You can see the Ukrainians made sure that they were steadfast, just 10 yards inside their own box, well organised, and let Callum Robinson run offside. In other words, let the ball do the work. Just going back to your point, Nathan, the Ukrainians are a better team. And sometimes that's part of the game. You have to realise, hang on a second, lads. We're not going to have it all our own way today. I know.
Collins doesn't get there, but there's too much pace on the ball in for Mudrick, and Kelleher comes out to the edge of the area to claim the ball. Hendrick goes over the top. He's caught afterwards. Ogbene is there. Lunan comes out, and the ball, pitch obviously quite hard. The ball again bounces hard and bounces into the goalkeeper's arms. You do wonder, is it Michael Obafemi sit on the shoulder of the last man and really try and stretch this Ukrainian side?
But there's nothing wrong with the pass we just seen there. What we seen there was Hendrick picking the ball up maybe 20 yards inside his own half. He got turned, and Ogbene has spun and made a run in behind. The problem is the ball from Hendrick. Can he keep it away from the goalkeeper? In other words, if you're going to be long, be wide, so that the goalkeeper isn't going straight into the goalkeeper's hands. There's little things like that would help.
Ogbene crosses it to the edge of the area, cleared up into the air by Popov. Hendrick controls it, can't quite get it down to his feet though as he chested the ball, and it's Ukraine who emerge once again. Mudrick.
Oh, there's been harm from Mudrick there.
Mudrick just swings out, and the referee gives a free kick to Ireland. It was completely unnecessary. Stephen Kenny, I think, wants a little bit of further action. It was on Josh Cullen who's gone to ground. Referee seems happy.
I don't think there's much in this, Nate. No, he's pat him on the chest.
He's just annoyed, Mudrick, but it gives Ireland a free kick right at the end of the first half. We're in the final minute of the 3 minutes of injury time, and maybe an opportunity for Ireland to create something. You'll remember on Saturday they had a free kick right at the end of the first half, and Chidozie Ogbene really should have scored. Maybe they can do something again this afternoon.
I'm surprised that Josh Cullen there, I have to say. I think he's making an awful lot out of that. I mean, in the end, Shane Duffy's had to pull him up from lying on the ground, or Ennis Stevens has had to do it just to get on with it. He's had a little swing in the mud, but he's caught him on the chest.
35 yards out, this free kick just to the right of centre. It is Cullen who's going to take it. Ukraine are holding their line just on the edge of the D. Let's see what Cullen comes up with. Sends it to Duffy at the back post, but the Ukrainians get their head on it. Robinson waited for it to fall. It doesn't quite come. Play continues over on the far side with Stevens. Passes it first time to Robinson. Brings it towards the end line. Swings the left foot across in. Won't arrive though to Shane Duffy, who was waiting patiently. Sirota gets his head on it. And now Ukraine look to bring it clear. Appeals for a handball. Referee allows play to continue. And suddenly they're on the attack now. And Dobback has it. He's bearing down on the Irish penalty area. Collins comes across. He's got options inside. Collins stands tall. Needs to get a touch on it. Manages to slow down the pace of that Ukrainian attack. They still have the ball though. And they have men here with Mikalenko on the left-hand angle of the penalty area. Ireland have managed to get men back. Mudryk back to Mikalenko again. Thinks about taking the shot on the edge of the area and does. Left-footed Shaparenko, but there was no great pace on it. Straight into the arms of Kelleher. If it had taken a little touch off Shane Duffy, he might have been in trouble. But from one end of the pitch to the other, Ukraine finish this half on the attack. Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 0. It started brightly for the Republic of Ireland. Jason Knight really set a promising early tempo, had one good effort on goal that was saved down low to his right from Lunan, and it felt like Ireland were going to kick on there against what is essentially a Ukrainian second string. But after a bright opening 15 minutes, well, Ireland have sort of fallen apart in a way. They've created very, very little, and Ukraine have started to dominate in terms of possession and in terms of chances, and they thought they had got the goal, and what a goal it would have been from Taras Kakaraba 5 minutes before half time. A volley from 20 yards out straight into the top corner of the goal, but VAR intervened. There was the narrowest of offsides, but Stephen Kenny, for the second time in 4 days, has a big half-time team talk once he's finished talking to the referee, because the other talking point was a potential penalty for the Republic of Ireland when Callum Robinson was brought down inside the area. There was contact, but was there a touch just before that? Either way, the decision didn't go in the Republic of Ireland's favour. Big second half to come. Ireland still searching for a Nations League victory. Ireland still searching for Nations League goals. Analysis to come in just a moment. But at the break, at the Aviva Stadium here in Off the Ball, it's the Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 0.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Sky, all the football you love in one place. Across Sky Sports, BT Sport and Premier Sports.
News Talk Breakfast.
There's been a 170% increase in cocaine treatment for young people in recent years. Dr. Garrett McGovern talked about the worrying spike on News Talk Breakfast this morning.
There are more and more presentations now where people displaced their use socially within the house and developing dependence, so it's only going one way.
News Talk Breakfast with Ciara Kelly and Shane Coleman.
In association with AIR.
Weekday mornings at 7 on News Talk.
Guaranteed Irish business members continue to sustain jobs and communities across Ireland.
Gardner Family Apothecary, the first skincare apothecary in Ireland, makes Alav-sensitive skincare, clean formulations which really work on sensitive reactive skin, including eczema and rosacea-prone skin. Alav Daily Sensitive Care for clear, hydrated and healthy skin. Alav, vegan, cruelty-free and sustainable skincare since 1934. Visit alavskincare.com to learn more. GuaranteedIrish.ie, supporting jobs and online businesses, altogether better.
Wetsuit on and underwater by air.
Aprons on, breakfast orders in, conversation flowing, loving every second.
Every day is different. There's always new faces. It really suits me.
It fits my schedule. I can see friends, do my yoga, balance work with life and enjoy both.
My career in tourism works for me.
And mine works for me.
Get a career in tourism that works for you. Visit tourismcareers.ie. Brought to you by Fáilte Ireland.
At Virgin Mobile, we're putting more zing into amazing. Introducing the Amazing Mobile Sale. Join us now and get unlimited data calls and texts for just €10 a month for 12 months. But hurry! Shop the Amazing Sale today at virginmobile.ie or in-store. Virgin Mobile. Bring on amazing.
SIM-only plans, €25 a month after offer. Cancel anytime on 30 days' notice. Ends 8th of June 2022. For T's and C's and acceptable usage policy, see virginmobile.ie.
Galvin Tullamore. Destination menswear store since 1949. Galvin Tullamore.
If you're thinking of buying a residential rental property, ICS Mortgages can provide an excellent range of flexible buy-to-let mortgages, including interest-only terms of up to 15 years. We'll also help you to refinance your existing portfolio and grow your property investments. Call 0818 427 427, visit icsmortgages.ie or contact your local mortgage broker. ICS Mortgages, the mortgage experts. Lending criteria, terms and conditions apply and are subject to change. The entire amount that you've borrowed will still be outstanding at the end of the interest-only period. Dillos Trading as Dillos and ICS Mortgages is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
It's a summer of football at Intersport Elveries, official retail partner to the FAI and proud sponsor of the FAI Summer Soccer Schools. From the stands to the pitch, we're here for every step of your football journey and anything you need from kit to boots to footballs. Get it all this summer at Intersport Elveries.
Guaranteed Irish business members continue to sustain jobs and communities across Ireland.
Guaranteed Irish member Spotlight Oral Care, created by Irish dentist Dr. Lisa and Dr. Vanessa Craven, combines the latest advances in oral care research and technology with clinically proven ingredients to give you everything you need for a professional oral care routine at home. Visit spotlightoralcare.com and get 30% off all full-priced items with the code Guaranteed Irish. So look out for the G, guaranteedirish.ie. Altogether better.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Sky, proud partner of our women's national football team. Out-believe together, and we can go anywhere.
Now then, welcome back. Half-time at the Aviva Stadium. The score is 0-0. It most certainly feels like Ireland are 1, if not 2-0 down, though. They've been outplayed for the vast majority of that first half. Started brilliantly, this Ukrainian team, with 10 changes from their previous game. Just taken, naturally enough, a few minutes to settle and get to grips with what Ireland were about. And what Ireland were about in that first 10 minutes was Jason Knight, who was quite brilliant from minute 1, turned on the ball, ran at goal and had 1 or 2 of their very, very promising moments. And he had 3 shots on goal early on. And then from the 12th minute, really, Mudryk, who Stuey Byrne was touting pre-match, has lived up to his billing. He got a shot away. And that was the first of many shots, because Ukraine since then have really been on top. 3-5-2 out of possession, or generally 5-3-2 out of possession. But then in possession, everyone forward, their back three sitting pretty, and they are picking Ireland apart, getting lots of shots away. And Ireland might need an out ball in the second half, because when they do turn Ukraine over, they're lacking the composure to keep the ball and play their way back into proceedings. So it's sizable enough team talk, I would think, in there at the moment. We do, by the way, have a great competition for you on the show all week to celebrate the summer of football at Intersport Elveries, who have everything you need from kits to boots to footballs. To get your team kitted out, we're giving you the chance to win a €300 Elveries voucher. All you have to do is identify our mystery voice. He is a big fan, aren't we all a big fan, of David on Love Island?
What part of that quote do you not understand? I mean, I don't say things I don't mean.
Your answer, please, to 53106. All with thanks to Intersport Elveries, the official retail partner to the FAI and proud sponsor of the FAI Summer Soccer Schools. Like I said, big team talk for Stephen Kenny right now. Something's going to have to change, because otherwise you feel a Ukrainian goal is only a matter of time. It is, however, still 0-0 at the Aviva Stadium. Back in just 1 moment.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Sky, all the football you love in one place. Across Sky Sports, BT Sport and Premier Sports.
Guaranteed Irish business members continue to sustain jobs and communities across Ireland.
Gardner Family Apothecary, the first skincare apothecary in Ireland, makes a lab-sensitive skincare, clean formulations which really work on sensitive reactive skin, including eczema and rosacea-prone skin. Elav Daily Sensitive Care for clear, hydrated and healthy skin. Elav, vegan, cruelty-free and sustainable skincare since 1934. Visit elavskincare.com to learn more. Guaranteedirish.ie, supporting jobs and online businesses, altogether better.
The Harvey Norman Big Sale continues with big savings on technology, like the incredibly lightweight HP Pavilion Aero 13-inch laptop with Windows 11 and powerful AMD Ryzen 7 processor. Now only $999 save €200. Or control your smart home and play music with the new Google Nest Hub. Now only €59 save $40. And we're matching all competitors' prices, even their sale prices. For big savings this summer, shop the Harvey Norman Big Sale in-store and online. Don't miss out.
Go! When Peugeot created the new 308, they didn't just reinvent the wheel, they reinvented the whole car. It's a new concept in interior space with technology like customizable iToggles for on-screen shortcuts, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and the new iCockpit for premium comfort and visibility. The Peugeot 308 with high performance and low emissions. It's an all-new driving experience. Test drive the hybrid petrol or diesel 308 at your local Peugeot dealer today.
Hey, I'm home. Honey? Hi, love.
Hi, love.
I just got in. Where are you?
I'm behind the shower curtain in the attic bathroom.
You're behind the shower curtain in the attic bathroom.
Your kids found the sweets. Have fun getting them in bed. Love you. Bye.
Right.
Connect in every corner of your home with our enhanced coverage technology. Vodafone Super Wi-Fi, now with Wi-Fi calling. Together we can.
Subject to eligibility, activation and limitations with Vodafone Broadband. Install fee may apply. See vodafone.ie/super Wi-Fi.
Would you like to further your education without the need to attend on campus? Atlantic Technological University Sligo are now making education accessible through the Higher Education for All initiative. Study a full-time degree and attend live online classes in an inclusive learning environment. If you need to stay at home due to caring commitments, a disability or financial circumstances, then Higher Education for All at ATU Sligo can help you take the next step. Visit atu.ie/higher education for all.
Guaranteed Irish business members continue to sustain jobs and communities across Ireland.
Did you know Genpack Foods have been making baking a piece of cake for the people of Ireland since 1967, bringing the whole family together to create something special with their extensive range of baking and cooking ingredients. Gem makes life easy and fun in the kitchen. Guaranteed Irish welcomes companies that are altogether better choices for our communities, so look out for the G. Guaranteedirish.ie. Altogether better.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Sky, proud partner of our women's national football team. Out-believe together, and we can go anywhere.
Now then, you're welcome back. Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 0. Irish team, well, Irish substitutes are out doing their kick around and they're jogging across the pitch. Irish team inside beneath us, Nathan Murphy, and listening to their manager, Stephen Kenny, who will be telling them, do better.
Whatever you did in the first 15 minutes, do more of that.
Well, indeed. First 15 minutes was a joy. Jason Knight, fantastic, really fantastic. We were just chatting there ourselves during the ad break, making a few points. One, I'd say gives Zinchenko the 9 off. I think that's right. He deserves it. He deserves to put his feet up. And secondly, Ireland are either going to have an outball in the shape of Obafemi, some pace over the top, or when they do win the ball back in their own half, they're going to have to keep it a touch longer, touch more composure, and work their way up the pitch, because at the moment, last 20 minutes of that first half, big old gap between the Irish front three and the rest of the team.
Absolutely, and even though this is a Ukrainian second string side, they've made 10 changes from the game against Wales. It still shows the problem for Stephen Kenny. In the middle of midfield, Shaparenko and Sidorchuk, two vastly experienced players with Dynamo Kiev, have played many seasons of the Champions League, Europa League football, technically look so much more comfortable. They know when to pick a pass, they know when to skip past the defender, and as you say, there just seems to be acres of space between the front three in the midfield, and then at times between the back three and the Irish midfield. And then when Ireland win it back, the two fullbacks go out and the two midfielders seem to sit back, and there's no option at all for the centre halves but to go long and very much route one at times from an Irish point of view, or to play it out to the wings and play a risky ball. So a lot of the similar issues that were there in the second half against Armenia, but this Ukrainian side are a much better team. And the concern for Stephen Kenny, while we will focus on Irish substitutions, is that Ukrainian bench is stacked.
Yeah.
Zinchenko could come on in the middle of midfield there and really add something for Ukraine. They've got 4 or 5 other top quality players who could make life very difficult for the Republic of Ireland, where for Stephen Kenny, it's a like for like, really, whatever he does. We would like to see Michael Obafemi. Yes, he's got 12 goals in 16 games for Swansea, but he's winning his third international cap. He didn't have a good time of it, didn't make any impression over in Yerevan. But you do just think, can you put him on the shoulder of one of those young Ukrainian centre halves, play some of those balls in behind? He has the pace, he has the strength, and maybe just give them another option, because Callum Robinson just doesn't look, he doesn't look fit.
And this is what Stephen Kenny didn't want to have to do, and be reduced to whacking a ball over the top for someone to run onto it. But Ukraine are 20 places above Ireland, and they're on top now, and they're settled in this game. And the other point as well, I suppose, to make and to re-emphasise, I'm sure it's coming across in the commentary, Ireland are without Seamus Coleman, they're without Matt Doherty, and realistically, in Christie in particular and Stevens, for whatever reason, because there is a good technical player in Stevens, but neither wing back, and I emphasise the word wing back, neither's given Ireland enough. And if you're going to play this formation and your wing backs aren't doing very much, then you're in a bit of trouble.
Well, I think in modern day football, and Stephen Kenny talked about Ireland being a progressive side, like, wing backs are so important. And you look at Mikolenko and Kakaraba for Ukraine, like, they're not just picking the ball up out in the touchline. The second they pick it up, they cut back inside. They're not quite João Cancelo, but they'll pop up in and around those central midfield areas, where Christie and Stevens are, they're a right back and a left back playing as wing backs and not offering a huge amount. So there's a lot of areas where Ireland need to improve. Ukraine are a better team than the Republic of Ireland. The defeat against Armenia, again, changes nights like this, where you would probably take a scoreless draw and say, not a bad performance, started the game well, a better team. But I think Armenia means that Ireland need to go and improve pretty quickly in this second half. Armenia, by the way, 2-0 down against Scotland at half-time.
Yes, that's it. We're analysing this first half through the prism of that disappointment against Armenia. And we touched on a pre-game. That result was always going to heap a ton of pressure on the following three games, because there was always the chance that those three games could prove very difficult. And this one certainly is thus far. Second half is about to start. Back over to Nathan Murphy and Stuey Byrne.
Yeah, the sun's setting beautifully over the Aviva Stadium. Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 0, and it is Ukraine who have made the first change of this game, and enforced change as well. Serhii Sidorchuk was down during that first half, took a little bit of a knock, and hasn't re-emerged for this second half, and he's replaced by Viktor Chenkov, and he is another Dynamo Kiev player who's just going to replace him in the middle midfield. He's got 37 caps, so he's not one of the kids coming onto the pitch here for Ukraine. And no changes for the Republic of Ireland, who are attacking down our left hand side towards the Ukrainian supporters in the small stand behind the Ukrainian goal. Nathan Collins takes a free kick, tries to release Callum Robinson down the right hand side. He closes down Bondar quickly, but Ukraine are able to clear up towards the halfway line. Caoimhín Kelleher is in goal for the Republic of Ireland. Back three of Collins, Duffy and Egan. Christie, Cullen, Hendrick and Stevens across the middle. Ogbene and Knight. And Robinson at the front three, and now Ogbene is free down the right hand side, has Knight inside the middle. Ogbene into the area, touches heavy first, gets it back to Jason Knight, gets the shot off. Three Ukrainian defenders there managed to get the block in, and they clear the line up towards the halfway line to Dobbik. But better from Ireland again. I think Chidozie Ogbene's first touch put him in a difficult position, but he did manage to pick out Jason Knight. But Knight had to take a touch. He had his back to goal, he spun, and by the time he shot, there was enough Ukrainian players between him and the goal.
Well, he's guilty in the first half, Ogbene, on a couple of occasions of maybe being a little bit indecisive about what he needed to do when he had 10 or 20 yards of space in front of him, but certainly no hesitation on that occasion. I think the Ukrainians got themselves a little bit in sixes and sevens. Sarato and Mikolenko got a little bit caught high up the pitch, and Ogbene found themselves in 30 yards of space, and he had no hesitation. He surged into that space and pulled the ball back for Jason Knight. I think just Jason Knight just kind of ball maybe a little bit behind them early on in the second half, wasn't able to get a shot away. But a good positive start from Ireland. But as we've seen in the first half, we started positively, and then we suddenly went into our shells a little bit. So free kick on this occasion for Ukraine on the right hand side here, about 20 yards out. They've got everybody up on the box.
Yeah, just a couple of yards in from the right hand touchline. Ukraine all in yellow. Mikolenko swings the ball in dangerously. Oh, and it's gone all the way in. Ukraine lead. A disaster for Caoimhín Kelleher in the Irish goal. Oh, it's the substitute, Viktor Chenkov. His left-footed strike. It was an in-swinger. It missed everybody. Kelleher waited for the touch, and the touch never came. He reacted too late, and all he could do was palm it into the top of the Irish net. A nightmare start to the second half. inside 90 seconds. He's only on the pitch, Viktor Gigankov.
The delivery, Nathan, the pure delivery is just class. Look at the area he's hitting. Look where that ball has bounced. It has literally bounced inside the 6-yard box with pace. You know, it doesn't get any higher than maybe 20 yards above the... But look at the delivery. We're all struggling. We can't get back. Oh.
Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 1. VAR is having a look at something. I can only imagine, are they looking, was there a Ukrainian player standing in front of Caoimhín Kelleher when the free kick was taken? Again, looking at the initial replay, I didn't think so.
I don't think so.
Kelleher waited and waited for a touch to come. It was a sumptuous delivery into the area, and Kelleher just left it too long to react.
No, I don't think so. It's hard to know what he... I would, to be quite honest with you, we're in a perfect position where we are in the commentary area to be right behind the delivery. I was so impressed by the ball in. I actually thought Ukraine were going to get ahead on it. Seconds over, it's a goal. But the fact that it's gone to the back of the net is purely and simply because there was so much pace, and the delivery was a hidden area that, you know, when you put a ball into that kind of an area and that kind of pace, anything can happen. And on that occasion, anything did happen.
Oh, Caoimhín Kelleher, he'll have nightmares about that tonight. So it's one of those, it was such a dangerous delivery. You don't want to let it bounce. The touch never came. I don't know, could he have reacted quicker and got a stronger hand on it, but either way, Ukraine get what you would say is a deserved lead, but whatever Stephen Kenny said at half-time is out the window straight away. And what an introduction for Viktor Gigankov, and that sweet left boot of his, a 7th international goal.
Here's the delivery again, Nathan. Possibly a push, maybe, between Egan and... I don't know. Can't see how like, there's, you know, you can see where it was given. There was no obstruction. Ukraine are surging forward again.
Here they come again now. Dovbyk inside the D, left-footed shot. It comes off the backside of Nathan Collins, threw his body at it, as did the 3 Irish defenders. And now there's some space for Jeff Hendrick on the halfway line. In it goes to Cullen. Oh, he's left it short for Jason Knight. Got to be better there. Hendrick wins it back, goes to ground, gets it to Knight. Again, a challenge comes in. Ireland do get the free kick this time. The Irish crowd start to make a bit more noise. Their team needs their support now because they're in a little bit of trouble. Beaten by Armenia in the first game, now trailing at home against Ukraine, far from trying to win Group 1 of League B in the Nations League. Ireland are going to be in a relegation scrap. They take the free kick quickly and short, but the referee said Josh Cullen wasn't in the right position. The free kick is going to be exactly 30 yards out to the left of centre, and Ireland are going to send the 3 centre halves forward for this, and Josh Cullen this time steps away and is going to leave it for Enda Stevens.
Yeah, it's in a very good area for Enda Stevens, standing up probably 35 yards out. All the Irish players, Ukrainians, lining right up on the edge of the 18-yard box. This is where we need to put in a really, really good delivery. You know, there's no excuses. Look at that area that Enda has to hit. Stick it in the mixer and let's try and get ahead on it.
Enda Stevens swings it in. Oh, goes over the head of Duffy.
He's free, Nathan.
Robinson was lurking, and the Ukrainians take no chances and headed behind for a corner kick. Kakaraba back there doing the defending.
It's a good delivery. It was in a good area. It was just a little bit overcooked. I think Shane Duffy had made a very good run. Hadn't been picked up. It just found it going over his head. And opportunity now. Corner kick right hand side.
Callum Robinson is going to take this one. Josh Cullen's not getting any of the set pieces at the start of this second half. Ireland trailing Ukraine by goal to nil. Robinson drills it in. Duffy goes up. Duffy wins the header. Not great power on it. Straight into the arms of Lunin in that Ukrainian goal.
Yeah, but better. You can see what Robinson's done. He's pinged it in with a bit of pace into an area and said to Shane Duffy, go and head it. And that's exactly what he's done. Hasn't been able to leverage too much power on it, but he's hit the target. Goalkeeper is an easy save.
Gigankov again getting involved, scored with his first touch since coming on as a substitute at half-time, and all the noise you hear is from the Ukrainian supporters down to our left-hand side, stroking it around at the back now. Stephen Kenny will have some big decisions to make around substitutions in the next few minutes. Gigankov rolls it to Kakaraba, back to Gigankov down this right-hand side, and closed down by Enda Stevens.
Well, that's the other way.
How
was that not an Ireland throw out?
Like it was an Ireland throw in, that it came off the Ukrainian last, but the assistant referee was right under his nose and decides to give the throw into Ukraine. In line with the edge of the Irish penalty area, the Irish supporters behind Caoimhín Kelleher's goal, stunned into silence. Thrown in towards the edge of the area. John Egan manages to get there ahead of Dovbyk, and all he can do is play it long out to the right hand side, where it'll be collected by Ukraine once again. And now they can settle into their stride, just having to overcome the heartbreak of Wales on Sunday night, and with so much more on their shoulders as well. It's been another very impressive performance by this Ukrainian side. They look so comfortable in possession of the ball, always have options.
Hopefully that was the conversation at half time, Nathan. There was a realisation that this is an excellent Ukrainian team. Forget about this notion that it's a second string team. Ukraine aren't 24th in the world ranking for no reason. They've got a hell of a squad, and there's no doubt about it. This team, from pretty much the 10th minute on, has been very, very impressive. So we have to take that into consideration. We're on the ball now. Let's try and keep it. We're giving it away loosely and stupidly.
Hendrick can't. Sinead Cullen is late with the challenge. He'll come back for a yellow card, I'm sure, for Josh Cullen. The referee eventually blows the whistle. He was going to play advantage. It's right in the middle of the Irish half, and Josh Cullen receives a yellow card. Shane Duffy and Jeff Hendrick were booked on Saturday. If they were to be booked again, they'd missed the game against Scotland at the weekend. But Josh Cullen receives a yellow card. It was a cynical old foul. He knew he was doing a bit of frustration creeping in there as well. Ireland just need to regroup, and they need someone to just put their foot on the ball, and they need that to be Josh Cullen or Jeff Hendrick.
And not just that, Nathan, maybe someone, verbally, vocally, to say, let's get a shape here. We're getting too stretched again. This isn't a Mickey Mouse team playing against here. This is a serious outfit, and they're now on the ball again. I think it might be the same player. So Gankov standing over here. What is it, 40 yards out? A little bit more central on this occasion, but I think he's winding it up for a strike, is he?
Certainly looks like it. At the moment, there's no real Irish wall. Josh Cullen's decided to tie his laces just in front of the free kick taker. Mikalenko is standing over it as well. As you say, if you go through the lines on the pitch, it's almost 35 yards out. Mikalenko doesn't make the move. The shot comes in, it's low, and it's drilled straight at Caoimhín Kelleher. No great power behind that, had the accuracy, and then Kelleher throws it forward, and it goes over the defender's head, and Ebazeli now has a bit of space to attack down the right hand side. Uses his strength to hold off the initial challenge. Just one option in the area though, so needs a bit of support. It's there from Christie. Skips around the first challenge, sends the ball in dangerously over the head of Robinson though. Scampering across to keep it in play then is Enda Stevens, and he can't do it, and it's a throw in to Ukraine right down on their right hand side, down by the corner flag.
It's a good approach play from Ireland, but just again, Nathan, when there's an opportunity to really deliver the pass, and Callum Robinson has found himself free. He was 12 yards out, 10 yards out. No one really picked him up. When you have an opportunity to put in a good quality delivery, we overcook it again, and that's really the difference for us at this, in this game, is when we had the opportunity to put in a real quality cross or a pass, we let ourselves down, and rather put ourselves under pressure here again as well.
Duffy is the one who overhits the pass, and Cyrus Christie has a right pop at him as Christie kept it in play. Ukrainian got the last touch. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 1. The goal came right at the start of the second period. The substitute, Viktor Gigankov, with his first touch of the ball from right on the right-hand touchline. A free kick, an in-swinger left-footed, deceived all the defenders and also deceived Caoimhín Kelleher. Bounced 6 yards out. Kelleher couldn't respond. He palmed it into the top corner of the net, and Ukraine lead. You're listening to Off the Ball on this Wednesday night. Nathan Murphy and Stewie Byrne with you. 53106 is the text number. We'll have all the reaction from the Ireland camp on OTB AM from 7:30 tomorrow morning with Ger and the lads, as Robinson wins the ball over on the right hand side, sends a left-footed cross in towards Jason Knight. Ukrainian defender Popov manages to clear his lines, and then Dovbyk gets there ahead of any of the Irish players, and now Ukraine are streaming forward on the counter-attack again. Gigankov, the substitute, down to the right hand side, and the cross was poor in the end from Kakaramba straight into the arms of Kelleher, who instantly rolls it forward, and that is the urgency the Irish fans want to see. But a pass from Hendrick, which was straightforward to release Knight in space down the left hand side, was too heavy and goes straight out of play for a throw in, and Ireland are sure
it was the wrong pass, Nathan. He should have gone right to Cyrus Christie. It was the wrong pass. All the Ukrainians had overloaded on this Irish left hand side. If Hendrick had just kind of had a look at a little overlap for Cyrus Christie, had gone around the outside right and just could have got him away. And look, that's the difference at the moment. That decision making is just not there. It's not right for us at the moment. The Ukrainians look a serious threat in the break from us. Just having a look at them there as well when we're breaking forward. The way they move up in unison, they move together. They keep that high line all the time. They're very, very well coached. They get it. And I think there has to be a realisation in this Irish team that we're up against a better side here, and we need to pick and choose our passes, pick and choose the opportunities that we decide to take.
Well, John Egan has a bit of a problem. He just dropped down to take a break and signal to the bench that he picked up some sort of a knock. I'm not sure, was he trying to stretch to reach the ball at one stage? And well, actually they're showing a replay of the first half when you might remember he couldn't control the ball to keep it in play on the far side, and he sort of stumbled a little bit, and maybe that is the problem. And it looks as though John Egan's day might be done. Dr. Alan Byrne is down treating him at the moment, and Dara O'Shea is the man who is going to come on for the Republic of Ireland. A straight swap. So Dara O'Shea, West Brom, will emerge for his 12th cap on the hour mark. And another injury for Stephen Kenny. John Egan might have been under a bit of pressure from Dara O'Shea anyways, because he hasn't had the best of it over the last 2 games. But an enforced substitution. Remember, you can make 5 changes in these matches, but you can only make them at 3 intervals. So they're just going to make the 1 change now, and that's going to see O'Shea come on for Egan.
We need to get him on the pitch because we're down a man at the moment. If the Ukrainians keep the ball here for a prolonged period of time, we could be in a bit of trouble.
Good to see Dara O'Shea back and fully fit again, slowly re-emerging to be the player that he was before he picked up the injury that night against Portugal. And the ball is back with the Ukrainian keeper Lunin, who sweeps it across his own penalty area over to the left-hand side. And now a little injection of pace from Mudryk, skips away from the challenge of Hendrick, and there's loads of space down this right-hand side for Kakaraba. Has options in around the edge of the area, goes short, and now Sidorchuk. And Sidorchuk rolls it to Kakaraba, and coming deep then is Dovbyk. 30 yards out, plays a little 1-2. Dovbyk thought about taking the shot, but it was closed down by Collins. Rolls it to the far side to Mikalenko. Dovbyk has it back again, trying to find a pocket of space, sends it in very low and dangerously to the edge of the 6-yard box. There was no Ukrainian player there, but Duffy was sliding in towards his own goal. I think he got the call just in the nick of time for Kelleher to leave it, who manages to reclaim possession for Ireland.
Yeah, the Ukrainians kind of timing us a little bit on that occasion. It was a good passage of play for them. Again, we aren't able to get O'Shea on the pitch. We're still down to 10 men. Ireland just look 2 or 3 yards off it at the moment. We just don't seem to be able to react. The movement of the Ukrainians is really causing us a lot of trouble, and we certainly look worried.
We're still down to 10 men as well, because there's been no break in play, so Dara O'Shea is still waiting patiently to come on. The ball is on the far side in the sunshine on this Wednesday night, and the Ukrainians, well, they're enjoying their trip to the Aviva Stadium, and well they might. The team are doing them proud once again this evening, and they're stroking it around in the middle of the field. Ireland need to change something, absolutely need to change something, and not just Dara O'Shea coming on, because it's getting easier and easier for Ukraine to just stroke it around, and Ireland's front 3 completely isolated, not involved in the game at all.
Yeah, I think you might have hit the nail on the head there, Nathan. I think you might have to sacrifice one of those 3, go to a 2 and get maybe an extra man in midfield.
Gankov across from the right-hand side. It was tracked by Cyrus Christie. Didn't head it out of play though, and it's kept in. Ukraine have it inside the penalty area. The pass through is blocked by Nathan Collins. Kept alive over on the far side by Mikalenko. Collins tracks him over there. Ball pulled back then to Sidorchuk. He rolls it in. Oh, lovely little handoff. And Ukrainian player goes down inside the penalty area. Referee again says nothing doing. But nice build-up play from Ukraine as Sidorchuk slid it through to Dovbyk. He took a first touch, laid it off to Zubkov, who threw himself to the ground. But nothing doing. So John Egan is gone, and Dara O'Shea comes on. Again, you just wonder, did they react too quickly there? Was there a chance to pause and maybe just leave it with the 2 centre halves and bring on an Alan Brown or a Jason Malumbi or another player in midfield, because Ireland just can't get close to the Ukrainians at the moment?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think there's any harm in us maybe trying to shut up shop a little bit here. I think we might, if we're going to sacrifice anyone, it might be one of the front 3, because as you suggested, we don't seem to be able to operate, when we play with that front 3, one of them should really be, should be able to drop in deep and operate as a kind of a third man to that midfield too that we have, but we don't seem to be able to use that quite well at the moment. I'd nearly almost just go with 2 up front, and for the moment maybe tell Jason Knight, it looks like he might even be doing that at the moment, tell Jason Knight, look, let's sit in, get yourself in beside Hendrick or Cullen and give the lads a little bit of a help.
The Ukraine must be up on 75-80% possession in the second half. Knight with a crunching challenge to win the ball back for Ireland. Cullen didn't have any time on it, but manages to get it to Darragh O'Shea, who straight away loses out. Ukraine though can't come clear. Cullen has already been booked, had to throw himself at that. Queven Kelleher rushes across to try and stop the corner kick, but I don't think he can do it, and it is going to be a corner kick to Ukraine. And well, Darragh O'Shea just not quite at the pace of the game as the ball came to him there, and played it straight off Kakaraba. He was bearing down on goal. Cullen just about did enough to put it behind for a corner kick.
Do you know what, Nathan? It was such a clever run from Kakaraba as well. The only ball O'Shea really had was Enda Stevens, and Kakaraba, he just bent his run, make sure he's blocking off Enda Stevens, and all the time he was closing down O'Shea, forced him into the mistake.
Inside Dorchuk. Back it comes to Shaparenko. Inside Dorchuk. Rolls it back then. And they will have another chance. Shaparenko on this near side to cross it in. 3 Ukrainians in the area, just tried a more delicate little ball that didn't roll out, and Hendrick shows some nice skill to bring it forward down the left hand side, and he goes over the top for Ogbene, but it's inside Ogbene, and then it's swept back quickly by the keeper Sirota. Back to Lunin, and he'll roll it out then to Bondar.
Again, there was an opportunity to get Ogbene away there. He had slipped past the Ukrainian defender, just Hendrick. He was a little bit unsighted, Hendrick, and he found himself in a little bit of a difficult area on his left foot. Played the right kind of pass, just overcooked it a little bit. Give possession straight back.
64 minutes gone. The Republic of Ireland still trailing Ukraine by goal to nil. It looks as though James McLean is going to come on. Jeff Hendrick, edge of the area, took the shot on. The desperate challenge came in and did enough to get a deflection on it. Bondar, the centre half, has a pocket of space, looked to have opened up for Jeff Hendrick as Ireland won it back for once deep inside the Ukrainian half. He opened his body, was looking for the right-footed shot. Bondar flew across and manages to get the deflection behind for the corner.
That's the difference, Nathan, isn't it? Have a look at Bondar again, how quickly he goes to close down that space. I mean, if that was us, and we were guilty in the first half of not closing down that area when the likes of Mudryk or Mikolenko was breaking 20 yards ahead of them. On that occasion, Hendrick had 20 yards of space to move into. Touch was decent, but closed down so quickly. But again, Ireland have another opportunity. Corner on the right hand side.
Corner sent in, won by a Ukrainian head, and good power behind it as well. Comes to Enda Stevens, the deepest Irish player. He just smashes it back again. That's overhit though. There's no chance for Josh Cullen. He had so much time there, Enda Stevens, to think about what he was going to do. He had all his centre forwards still in and around the edge of the area, and again, just a lack of quality lets Ireland down, and Ireland are going to make some changes, and they're going to make at least 2, possibly 3. Michael Obafemi, James McLean are coming on, and is Alan Brown going to come on as well? He's just coming back from warming up. I think they're going to wait on Alan Brown. So similar changes to what we saw on Saturday, when McLean and Obafemi charged with somehow reviving Ireland.
I think he needs energy, Nathan. I don't think tactically you can really do much here to beat the Ukrainians. I think the way the game has gone, I think you need energy on the pitch, you need legs, you get up in their face a little bit, maybe cause a little bit of a scrap to try and slow the game down and give, look, we're going to get an opportunity in this game, there's no doubt about it. Even Kelleher a little bit guilty of being too casual there, and he gets closed down quite quickly. That's the thing about Ukraine, they close you down very quickly, don't give you a yard.
A bit more tempo in the last couple of minutes from Ireland. It's stating the bleeding obvious that in football, when you play with a better tempo, with a bit more energy, you make it more difficult for the opposition. But it's so noticeable in Ireland when they do it quick, when they get a few tackles in, suddenly everything's played a bit further up the pitch, but it just doesn't happen often enough. It's with Enda Stevens just down below our commentary position at the Aviva Stadium, down this Irish left hand side as they attack from right to left. Going across the pitch now over to the far side, and it's with Nathan Collins. Christie wanted it quickly to feed. Collins holds onto it and eventually does go short to Christie, hugging that right hand touchline. Doesn't have too many options, going to try and do it by himself, but there's the Ukrainian defender Sirota in the right position to just comfortably pick up that ball, and now it's played into the centre, Sadai Dorchuk, and he fires the ball down the right hand side towards the substitute Chigankov. I should point out an error that I made as well, Stewie. The graphic told me that it was Dorchuk who came off for Chigankov, but actually it was Zubkov who came off.
Damn graphics.
I did notice after I mentioned Dorchuk about 5 times that he may still be on the pitch.
Can't get good help.
I thought you might have corrected me.
No, I'm watching the game here. You're the professional. Come here, just come in on your point there. The reality is, Nathan, it's not happening for Ireland. So plan B, get legs on the pitch, get energy on the pitch, and leave it. Let's see if we can get a chance that way.
Well, Bennett provided that just there. Somehow managed to squirm away through 3 Ukrainian challenges. Didn't have an option through the middle, so has to go out to the right to Christie, who's forced right out wide, down towards the corner flag. Support there from Collins. He whips the first time cross in. Too deep though. Everybody waiting for it over their heads. Collected though on the left-hand angle of the area by Stevens. Plays it to the edge of the D to Hendrick. Can't get it out of his feet though. Lots of Ukrainian players back. Tried a little ball through and behind for Knight. Didn't come off though. You can see what he was trying, but there ain't no sympathy for Jeff Hendrick around this stadium right now. Ireland still trailing by 1-0. We're midway through the second half, and well, listen, this was a Nations League campaign that Stephen Kenny more than anybody talked up. Already a defeat in Armenia, a home defeat, and they're very much going to be on the back foot again, and it is going to be a triple change. Alan Brown is also going to come on. So Callum Robinson comes off. Looks as though Cyrus Christie may also come off, and Enda Stevens.
Number 11, James McLean.
So Robinson is off. He's having a bit of a debrief there with Keith Andrews. Not sure if he's particularly pleased. Enda Stevens is off, and the other change is going to see Cyrus Christie come off. Cyrus could go off the other side of the pitch and save us all a little bit of time. I think he missed his number going up. Alan Brown's going to come on for Cyrus Christie. So Brown has played at right wing back for Preston. Bennett's also played at right wing back.
Going to go to a flat 4.
Collins saying, what are we doing?
Probably going to go to a 4-4-2, I'd say Nathan. Probably going to go to a flat 4. I'd say Collins going to go try and fill in at right back. McLean will play left full. And we just need to try and get numbers in and around that midfield area to stop the Ukrainians from getting out of us.
Stephen Kenny a bit annoyed there, and some of the Irish players, that Ukraine were allowed to restart the game before Alan Brown was even fully on the pitch. So Nathan Collins having a go at the ref. So we'll try and figure out if they're staying. It looks as though they are staying with the wing back. So McLean left wing back, and Alan Brown is going to play as right wing back. McLean straight in, trying to win the ball back. Little nudge from Darragh O'Shea's allowed go. Referee's allowed a lot of that go, and now it's with Josh Cullen midway inside the Ukrainian half. Ireland needs some inspiration. They need to test the Ukrainian keeper. They didn't really test the Armenian keeper at all, and really that early shot from Jason Knight was all that Lunin has had to do in this game so far. Collins 10 yards inside the Ukrainian half to the feet of Alan Brown. Always been good for a goal, Alan Brown. Might find it a bit more difficult from that right wing back position.
He's actually Nathan wide in the right like a wing back. That's a strange decision for me, I have to say.
I'll say he has played there at club level, and with Doherty and with Coleman out injured, there's not a huge amount of options. Maybe Festi Ebazele might have thought, let me on there, take a risk.
I thought he was going to go to almost like a 4-4-2. I thought he was going to, you look at Ukraine now, they've got one up front, they've got Dovbyk is up front, and effectively we've got 3 players minding one player. I mean, maybe we can take an opportunity. That's not going to help us either, giving the ball cheaply like that.
Darragh O'Shea again, the guilty party. The ball is inside the centre circle with Sidorchuk, spins away from Michael Obafemi, who's going to play right up top, and then O'Shea goes through the back of the Ukrainian midfielder Sidorchuk and gives away a free kick, and Ukraine are going to make a couple of changes here as well.
Substitution for Ukraine, number 19, Taras Karachava, being replaced by number 21, Alexander Karavai.
So Karavai
is coming on. 14, Mikhailo Mudryk, being replaced by number 7, Alexander Pikalenko.
And Shaparenko is the other player who's coming off, and he is going to be replaced by the number 7, Pikalenko. Actually, I have managed to screw it up against Stewie. It's our friend Mudryk. It's our friend Mudryk who's coming off. I'm going to blame the 4th official.
Blame
so
someone.
Mudryk is off. Zupkov is off.
Top tip as a professional: learn how to blame people.
We'll figure it all out as we go on. So Ireland with that triple substitution have just one more change that they can make. And And they've got about 20 minutes to somehow try and find a way back into this Nations League game. Remarkably, Ireland's 12th Nations League match. Remember, this is a tournament set up, so you face teams of similar ability on a regular basis. Ireland still haven't won a game and have still only scored 2 goals.
I say he really needs to be careful. I know the free kick is gone for him there, but he's
Collins just played the ball off Hendrick. Obafemi's pushed over. Referee says play on as Brown brings it forward over on the right-hand side. Back into the middle it comes. Cullen, short pass to Hendrick. He finds a nice little ball to Michael Obafemi. 30 yards away from the Ukrainian goal, lays it off for Darragh O'Shea, leaves it behind McLean. The run is made forward by Jason Knight, down by the corner flag, down to our left-hand side. It looks like it should be a free kick. It is a free kick. Popov just couldn't resist the temptation to have a little bit of swipe at the legs of Jason Knight. So it'll be a free kick. It's essentially a corner kick. It's right down by the corner flag, down to our left-hand side. 72 minutes gone as the sun sets over Lansdowne Road. Ireland trailing Ukraine by 1-0.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. We've seen Mudryk do it for Ukraine. We see Zinchenko do something similar. McLean on the ball. Now this is something he's been a little bit guilty of in the past. Not, poor quality, poor delivery, but no excuses here.
Yeah, perfect position. 5 yards out from the end line, 5 yards from the left-hand touchline. 3 centre halves forward, a huge pile of bodies inside the penalty area. McLean floats a dangerous ball in there. Oh, it's off the head of Alan Brown and it goes straight down into the ground and almost behind him. Duffy just about missed it. It was the best delivery Ireland have had so far. Cullen swings one in. Obafemi heads it down. There for Duffy. Oh, he swings his left foot at it and completely miskicks the ball from 10 yards out. Oh, what a chance for Shane Duffy. I think the offside flag may have gone up anyways as the ball came back in for Cullen towards Obafemi. But 2 half chances there for Ireland. First from the free kick from McLean. Alan Brown got free. I think he almost got up too early. He headed it straight down into the ground. And then Cullen picked out Obafemi, who picked the right option, just cushioned header down for Shane Duffy. And Duffy, well, he'd be better almost with a diving header than trying to swing his left boot at it. I think missed the ball completely.
I think you're right about Alan Brown. I think, to be fair, Mikolenko's been very clever. He kind of felt Alan Brown on his back and he's almost gone down in an arch as if to allow Alan Brown to come over the back of him, and he just got under the header. And then when it came back to Shane Duffy, he was the last person you probably want that to fall to, but I think they're looking for Shane Duffy's left leg in rings end somewhere, because he's just swung at it and he's totally aired it.
Now here come Ukraine. Dovbyk down the right hand side, manages to play it into the centre. The substitute Pikonlak plays it out to the left to Mikolenko. Pikonlak gets another opportunity. Ukraine still committing plenty of men forward. They got 5-6 of them in the penalty area at the moment. It drifts out to the left hand side. Pikonlak manages to go back. The ball is swung from the Ukrainian left to the right hand side. It's kept in play. And they managed to go back then to the centre half, Popov, who's 10 yards inside the Irish half. Ireland have scored plenty of late goals under Stephen Kenny, particularly here at the Aviva Stadium in competitive games. You think of the match against Azerbaijan, Shane Duffy, and then the own goal by Milenkovic, which was caused by Shane Duffy. Both of those in the final couple of minutes. They need some sort of a grandstand finale again, because this is going to be another damaging defeat against what is by and large a second string Ukrainian side. And again, I think it's, as much as Ukraine have a better quality of player overall, I think it's the manner of the defeat that Ireland started so brightly. You could see what they were doing right and just faded out of the game completely.
Yeah, just look, I think you have to give credit where it's due. Ukraine have been excellent, to be quite honest, with the exception of the first 10 minutes. They've really gotten their stuff together, and then they put their best foot forward. You can see this real quality in that team, regardless of whether it's a first string, second string. I don't think we're doing them a disservice, to be quite honest, saying it's their second string. I think any one of those players, could get into what you would call the Ukrainian first team. But the important part of the game now, Nathan, I just think we need to try and nullify that Ukrainian threat, which I think we may have done. It looks like the game has gone into a little bit of a little bit cat and mouse, into a little bit of a stalemate. We need to try and we're doing it at the moment. Can we keep the ball for prolonged periods of time, just to kind of let us settle in and get up the pitch, which we are at the moment?
Ireland in possession of the ball. Cullen to Obafemi, nice little flick first time to Collins, out to the right hand side of goals. Alan Brown is hauled down managed to draw the foul well there, and it'll be a free kick to the Republic of Ireland. Promising position. It's about 25 yards out, over in line with the edge of the penalty area on the right hand side, and another chance for Ireland to try and create something from the set piece. Referee not allowing Ireland to take it quickly again. They try and take it quickly. Cullen released Brown. Referee wasn't looking. You knew he was going to pull it back. And another change is coming for Ireland.
Number 20, Shidozi Ogbene.
And it's going to see
number 21,
DJ Hamilton make his Republic of Ireland debut in place of Shidozi Ogbene. One man from the southeast replacing another. CJ Hamilton plays his club football with Blackpool. He grew up in Waterford, moved over to England, thought maybe missed his opportunity, and that people didn't realise that he was Irish, but he is back in, he's in the squad, and well, maybe he can make an instant impact and do something right from this set piece. He's going to play just off Michael Obafemi, I expect. Let's see what Ireland and Cullen can do with this free kick. Everybody forward for the Republic of Ireland. 12 minutes left. They trail Ukraine by a goal to nil. Cullen standing over the ball, swings it in low behind Duffy. Obafemi manages to get there and win the ball back, gives it to Cullen over on the right hand side. Back it goes to Obafemi again. He sends a cross in early, a little deflection. Duffy off the crossbar. It might fall on the rebound for Hamilton, and his shot is deflected over the top and out of play for a corner kick. Shane Duffy, oh so close to the equaliser. They kept it alive well, and the Aviva Stadium is alive right now as they urge this Irish side on, as they search for an equaliser. Oh, inches from Shane Duffy doing what Shane Duffy always does.
I'm not so sure. Did Lunan get a hand to it? Looked like he might have possibly. It was a good header from Shane Duffy. He had to kind of really reach for it, but he certainly got enough power, enough contact on it. Anyway, corner right hand side for Ireland.
Corner whipped in, outswinger flicked on, oh, and Obafemi heads inches to the left and wide. Oh, two best chances of the game for the Republic of Ireland come in the space of 30 seconds. The header was flicked on from the corner kick by Dara O'Shea, and then Obafemi reacted quickest, just couldn't get enough power on the header, and it goes to the left and wide. That's straight after Shane Duffy had hit the crossbar from 10 yards out. He's looking up at the big screen, he's looking at how close he was, but the end result is that they continue to trail by a goal to nil.
I didn't realise that Shane Duffy had as much time as that. I thought he was under a little bit more pressure, and you're rightly saying, Nathan, I think Shane Duffy's looking up at the screen and he's had a nod of the head. I think he feels he should have done much better there. He's actually ended up heading it straight down the throat of the goalkeeper. Not too sure whether the goalkeeper gets a touch, and let's have a look at it again. He does. It's a hell of a save. And then it's a hell of a save. He's actually gotten a little flick touch on it. But Duffy would be disappointed that he didn't maybe head it left or right of the goalkeeper, try and work him a little bit more.
Daniela Sikan has just come on for Ukraine. Hands a Rostock striker in place of Artem Dovbyk, who's been a bit of a nuisance throughout. Misplaced pass from Josh Cullen, puts the ball to play, and a throw into Ukraine midway inside their own half down this right hand side. So 10 minutes left. Ireland finally starting to ask Ukraine some questions once again, but they continue to trail by a goal to nil, and it's not from open play the chances are coming, it's from set pieces.
To be fair, Nathan, the set pieces are coming from good Ireland play, whether it be fouls being given away by the Ukrainians, and you accept that, that's part of the game. The important part is that we have looked a little bit more of a threat from set pieces, from free kicks, from corners this evening than we have in the past. But just going back to that Obafemi chance, it was a hell of a. I don't think he realised that all he had to do was just guide it into the corner. Wasn't really under too much pressure.
First time that Ireland have got some proper deliveries into the area from set pieces. They've caused havoc.
That's the difference now. I don't know whether we get caught up a little bit sometimes on having to either pick out a man like Shane Duffy, whatever. You don't, just put it into an area. We're in trouble here now. Ukrainian breaking away.
Yeah, again Ireland cheaply giving the ball away. The substitute Pikalanok takes a shot, comes off the back of Jeff Hendrick and spins out of play for a Ukrainian throw in right over by the corner flag on the far side of the pitch.
I think he's taking the wrong option there. I think Shaparenko just made a run down the outside, and all he had to do was slip him in. we could have been in real trouble. Decided to take the shot on and just crashed it against Collins.
Now Michael Obafemi skips around one challenge up towards the halfway line, bundled over, manages to earn his side the free kick. Good drive there from Michael Obafemi. Tried to steal 2 yards. The referee has not been letting that sort of stuff go all evening, but Ireland get the free kick to have it on the halfway line. 82.5 minutes gone here and off the ball. Ireland at least finishing with a little bit of a flourish. Can they get a goal that ultimately would be worth a lot? Ireland don't want to be relegated from League B. Now CJ Hamilton over on the right hand side, goes to ground but picks himself up into the area. Hamilton through the legs of the defender, can't find its way through to McLean though. Clearance only as far as Collins. Cullen 30 yards out, drills it in. Oh, it looked like it was flying into the top corner and somehow goes inches to the left and wide.
I'm not too sure how far off this is, but I'm with you, Nathan. I was waiting for this to go in the top corner because the keeper looked like he wasn't getting anywhere near it. Having a little look at this again, Hamilton wonderful down the right hand side, persistence and hunger, trying to force the mistake. Then it comes out to Cullen, gets a strike away. Oh, it isn't that far away at all.
He swept his right foot across it, went through the legs of the first Ukrainian defender, and well, if you're to score your first international goal, that's how you would want to score it, but not to be for Josh Cullen. But Ireland starting to press more and more, and it's the Ukrainians who you feel are fading right now. Throw in over on the far side. Peeping Kelleher miles outside his area, wants it. Instead it's played to the Irish captain for the night, Shane Duffy. Duffy rolls it to O'Shea on this near side. He steps back in, goes long, tries to release Obafemi. Obafemi has the pace to put some pressure on, manages to get there ahead of the defender, but forced out towards the corner flag. And then as he steps back in the centre half, Bondar has no choice but to turn it out of play for a corner kick to Ireland.
I think the key thing is Ireland have obviously sensed now that Ukraine are starting to go a little bit into their shell. Maybe he's trying to start to shut up shop, and you know, we're playing with intent now. There's a little bit of energy about us, a bit of pace. McLean now with an opportunity. Put it in, his last delivery was very good. Just hit an area. That's all he needs to do. Just put it into a good area.
It'll be McLean to take this corner kick. His last delivery was a good one. O'Shea, Duffy, Collins all forward. Down in front of the Ukrainian supporters. Out swinger. Duffy goes up. There wasn't quite enough pace on it this time for McLean. And at full stretch, all Duffy can do is get his head on it, and it'll go right away across the pitch for a throw into Ukraine.
Again, just overcooked it, didn't he? Really, even in like to Shane Duffy, all 6'3", 6'4" of them, he's reaching for it. But can we pin Ukraine? And now they have a throw in the left full position. It looks like he's got a long throw, trying to get them out of trouble here.
Looks like we're heading for 10 home games without a victory. Competitive football, which is a pretty dire run for the Republic of Ireland. Certainly not what Stephen Kenny imagined when he took over the job. All the momentum that had been built up over the last year feels like it's been quashed over the last 4 days. But maybe they can get something. Maybe they can get something over the next 5 minutes. But still, this team trail by a 0-0 to Ukraine. Collins just sends a bit of a Gary Owen straight up into the air in his clearance. He's bundled over, but again the referee says play on, or I think that's going to be just run out of play. And the flag is up, and this near side Ukraine are continuing. It doesn't really matter though, because the flag is up and it will eventually be a goal kick to the Republic of Ireland. Nathan Collins again having a bit of a go at the ref, feeling he should have had a free kick a little bit earlier.
We need to get on with it. Can we break?
Collins down the right hand side for Obafemi's. CJ Hamilton's over there, and Hamilton holds off the initial challenge but can't get it back to Collins, and Ukraine are trying to play it around inside their own half, but they give it away. Cullen intercepts, helps it on then to Jason Knight, who's certainly drifted out of the game as it's worn on after a scintillating first 15 minutes from Jason Knight. Now O'Shea to Knight again, can't get round one challenge, looked as though he's blocked, and the referee gives the free kick. He thought about it and he thought about it. The Ukrainians can't quite believe it. It did look like obstructions. Another free kick for Ireland, 30 yards out, left of centre. Cullen thought about taking it quickly to McLean. Referee slows him down, and the centre halves are all going to go forward once again.
Yeah, it's clever from Jason Knight, isn't it? You know, he's found himself in the pocket a little bit, and he knows Pop-Pop is there. As it comes to him, he just turns knocks it past him, and I know Popov can't really do much about it, but it's a foul. He's obstructed him, and again in a very, very good area here. Again, Stevens had a free kick in a similar area about 15 minutes ago, just 20-30 yards out.
McLean with the free kick. Oh, Duffy's in there, and I think Collins and Duffy almost got in each other's way. It may well have been off Collins last, but either way the header goes right and goes wide. Great delivery. Might have been offside, Shane Duffy.
Oh no, he should have buried it, Nathan. He's under no real pressure. He just needs to guide that. It's good pace on the pass. Needs to maybe head it back from where it's come from. Instead, he's just trying to get maybe a little flick header and trying to be a little bit too clever. I don't know whether we would have been given offside for it, but Ukraine now trying to react, bringing on the very experienced. Is it Mikolenko? No.
I think it's actually going to be Inyatenko who's going to come on, but I wouldn't trust Murphy Stuey. I've pretty much got all the substitutions.
It ends in no anyway.
So far. Very experienced, and on for his debut is our friend Daniel Inyatenko. Maybe he's experienced in other parts of life, Stuey. It's just not in international football.
This is the lad that plays for Atlanta. This is a very good quality player.
No, he plays for Bordeaux.
You're not Milanovsky. Come on, no?
No. Inyatenko coming on.
Yeah, hang on a minute now. You've gotten a lot wrong tonight. You've gotten a lot wrong.
I certainly have. But if he's wearing the number 6,
I'm going Milanovsky. Atlanta.
Listen, this is not a time for joking. We're 2 minutes left. The Republic of Ireland are trailing Ukraine by a goal to nil. It was their first substitute, Chigankov, who opened the scoring with his first touch. It was a free kick over on the right-hand touchline. He hit an in-swinger left-footed, and it missed everybody and deceived Caoimhín Kelleher and into the back of the net. It was, at the time, you would say, a goal that Ukraine deserved. Ireland started this game very well in the first 50 minutes. Had one good chance, a shot from distance from Jason Knight that forced Lunin into a really good save. But after a quarter of an hour, Ukraine found their rhythm, and they've been the better team by and large. Up to the last 10 minutes, when Ireland have started to create chances as they search for an equaliser. 2 big opportunities. Shane Duffy hitting the crossbar with a header, and then direct from the resulting corner kick, Michael Obafemi headed wide from 6 yards out. Ireland come again. Collins tackled. Huge amount of free kicks been given away from Ukraine, becoming very stop-start as they try and disrupt the Irish rhythm. We're into the final minute at the Aviva Stadium. Is it going to be a second consecutive defeat in another Nations League campaign for the Republic of Ireland? There's a bit of space for Alan Brown. Brown swings it in. Not enough players inside the area though. It's too far in front of Obafemi. Cleared high aimlessly by Ukraine. Ireland will be able to pick it back up with Shane Duffy midway inside his own half. Hendrick takes it off him and brings it up towards the halfway line. Plays it laterally across to this left-hand side to O'Shea, and then it's on to McLean. McLean plays one over the top for Jason Knight to try and get the end of. There's too much on it though. 5 minutes of injury time. 5 minutes for the Republic of Ireland to try and salvage something. I think the Ukrainians just want this match to go on all night. The supporters haven't stopped down below us. Giving huge support to their team, and maybe they're going to be rewarded with a victory after the heartbreak of Sunday. They've shown a lot of character once again, these Ukrainian players. And well, listen, if it brings even the tiniest bit of joy, I don't think anyone will begrudge them. So kick out from Lunin. Drifts down the Ukrainian right-hand side. Over his own head by Darragh O'Shea. Straight back to the Ukrainian. It's just volleyed forward. It'll be an Irish goal kick. Caoimhín Kelleher wants to take it quickly. Short he goes to Shane Duffy. Just over 40,000 in attendance. It looks as though they're not going to be rewarded with a Nations League goal. Ireland have never scored a Nations League goal at this stadium. Surely someday, maybe Saturday against Scotland, we'll be back here for that. But now Ireland have some defending to do as Ukraine try and come on the counter. And they had an opportunity, but they didn't have the quality. Kelleher needs to get it forward. He's been told by the Irish supporters to get it forward as quick as he can. Throws it out to the right-hand side to Alan Brown, who can't control it. Slips over and out of play goes.
Tonight's Carlsberg player of the match is Republic of Ireland's number 17, Jason Knight.
Somehow Jason Knight has managed to get man of the match. I think they always give it to one of the home players, but I don't think any Irish player will want to take home a man of the match award. There's any number of Ukrainians far more deserving. And after Ireland putting together a 5-minute spell where they asked some questions. Suddenly it started to go very flat again, and we're already through 2 minutes of injury time. Ireland looked all out of ideas. I'm not sure if they had too many ideas to start with, unfortunately. We'll have plenty of time to analyse this and what it means for Stephen Kenny's future, and the things he talked about, the progress he spoke about, if any of it is actually happening. It's certainly not results-wise now for Ireland. Collins over on the right, plays it to Brown, his touch is heavy again, runs straight into the Ukrainian player, and the visitors have it back just inside their own half. And now they go long, but again their players held their position, so it goes over all the Irish defenders as well, collected on the edge of his own area by Kelleher. He gives it then to O'Shea. No great movement at all amongst the Irish front three. They're sort of playing it around at the back of midfield. Ukraine are holding their shape, and right now it doesn't feel like Ireland are going to create anything. Can they make me eat my words? Maybe they will. Obafemi has it, 30 yards out. He puts the head down, runs at it, onto CJ Hamilton. CJ Hamilton out to Brown on the right hand side. Chance to get the cross in, takes a deflection up towards Duffy, on the volley acrobatically, appeals for a penalty, and then volleyed over the top of the crossbar by Jason Knight. Duffy looks to the referee. Well, Shane Duffy went for the scissors kick. It looked from here like it might have struck a Ukrainian hand, deflected back into the path of Jason Knight, who hit it first time left-footed on the volley from the edge of the area, and it's a yard over the top of the crossbar.
They checked this, Nathan. No, it looks like his hand was right down by his side.
Of his chest.
But see, you can't say we haven't had opportunities. I mean, that's a good chance, that's probably on its way from Shane Duffy. Once it comes out to Jason Knight, you know, again, that's an opportunity to hit the target. He's 14 yards out. You know, in fact, Duffy's had a header against the bar. I mean, you can't. I think we've had chances in this last 25 minutes. Just haven't been able to hit the target, Nathan, unfortunately.
5 wins, 23 games for Stephen Kenny. It has not been good enough. It's not the level of improvement results-wise that Irish supporters expected. And he has that new contract in his back pocket, but I think he's going to face some serious criticism after this once again. Into the final minute of injury time, Obafemi can't keep hold of possession. Ukraine have it on the edge of the Irish area, and they might have a chance for a second. Oh, the shot is deflected over the top of the crossbar. Chigankov looking for his second of the game, got the shot off from 10 yards out. It was Nathan Collins who just threw every ounce of his being at it and somehow managed to get a deflection that brought it onto the crossbar. It'll be a corner kick for Ukraine, and that's how this game in all likelihood will end. Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 1. Shane Duffy isn't defending the corner. Michael Obafemi is staying back. We're into the final seconds. Ukraine in no great rush. They send it in, send it over everybody's head. James McLean will scurry across to try and keep it in play, and maybe an opportunity for Ireland to get it forward one more time. The referee's looking at his watch. I don't think he's going to allow Ireland to have one more attack. There's going to be no more time, and the Republic of Ireland have been beaten yet again. The celebrations you hear are from the Ukrainian supporters. Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 1. Yet another defeat in the Nations League, back to back to start this campaign. And Stephen Kenny, who was riding the crest of a wave coming in to this Nations League campaign, but it has all fallen asunder very, very quickly. This a Ukrainian second string side, but after being under the cosh for the first 15 minutes, they were the better team for large parts. Ireland threw everything at them, as you would expect in the closing stages. Shane Duffy hit the crossbar. Obafemi and Knight both had good chances as well, but Ireland still cannot find a goal in the Nations League. And the post-mortem for this is not going to be pretty for Stephen Kenny. Scotland coming to town on Saturday night. We'll have that one for you here live on Off the Ball, but Ireland need to start finding results from somewhere. We're going to take a quick break and loads of analysis to come from Stewie and Joe. But the Republic of Ireland beaten yet again on home soil. Republic of Ireland 0, Ukraine 1.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Sky, all the football you love in one place. Across Sky Sports, BT Sport and Premier Sports.
Guaranteed Irish business members continue to sustain jobs and communities across Ireland.
Pipelife Eco, Ireland's leading designer and supplier of thousands of renewable heating solutions. Established in 1970, Pipelife Eco is your one-stop shop for complete renewable heating solutions. From market-leading products, free initial advice, through to bespoke design, final commissioning and technical support. To find out more, visit their website www.pipelifeeco.ie. So look out for the G, guaranteedirish.ie. All together better.
It's one of the great days in global horse racing, the highlight of the Irish flat racing season. It's the Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby Festival at the Curragh Racecourse. 3 days of top quality racing from Friday, June 24th to Sunday 26th, with live music, fashion, food and family entertainment, great value travel options and free shuttle buses from Newbridge and Kildare Town. The Dubai Duty Free Irish Derby Festival at the Curragh. Book now at curragh.ie.
Things that put people off on a first date. Showing up late and getting your name wrong? Always a great start. Looking at their phone more than you? Hello? Someone who only talks about themselves. Oh, really? God, aren't you great? Look, no one said dating is perfect, but at godating.ie, we promise we'll always try and find your perfect match. And if you sign up today, you'll get 1 week on godating.ie absolutely free. Yes, even you, socks and sandals guy. Go on, go for it with godating.ie.
You can do pretty much anything in just a few taps. Buy a car, book a holiday, and now you can even apply for a permanent TSB digital current account in-app in minutes. It's quick, it's mobile, it's the start of making your everyday banking easier. Now that's permanent support. Application in your sole name for over 18 personal customers and residents of the Republic of Ireland only. Qualifying criteria, terms and conditions apply. Permanent TSB PLC is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Drivers, be extra alert for motorcycles at and near intersections. Pay particular attention when overtaking, changing lanes and making left and right-hand turns. From the Road Safety Authority, supported by Carol Nash Insurance.
Dreaming of a perfect garden this summer? Make it happen with the Woodies Flash Sale. Cook up a storm with 25% off all Phoenix barbecues and pizza ovens. Unwind with 20% off all Rattan garden furniture. And spruce up the garden with 5-litre Ronseal Fence Life 1 coat, 2 for €15. Plus 20% off all Hyundai cordless garden power tools. Offers for a limited time only. Shop the way that suits you, in store, online or with click and collect. Woodies, we're all homemakers. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
It's time to hit the switch on your energy supply. Make the switch to SSE Airtricity right now, and not only will you be joining Ireland's largest green energy provider, you'll also save 33% on electricity and gas. Yes, 33%. Go to ssceairtricity.com today and get your 33% discount exclusively online. SSE Airtricity. This is Generation Green. EAB €2,168.23. Offer online only from the 10th of the 1st, 22. Rates valid from the 1st of the 5th, 22. Subject to change. 1 year standard unit rate for new home gas and electricity customers and direct debit and e-bill. For details of EAB, T's and C's, rates, exit fee, standing charge and green energy claims, see ssceairtricity.com.
It's a summer of football at Intersport Elveries. Official retail partner to the FAI and proud sponsor of the FAI Summer Soccer Schools. From the stands to the pitch, we're here for every step of your football journey and anything you need from kit to boots to footballs. Get it all this summer at Intersport Elveries.
Football on Off the Ball.
With Sky, proud partner of our women's national football team. Out-believe together and we can go anywhere.
Yards in from the right-hand touchline. Ukraine all in yellow. Mikalenko swings the ball in dangerously. Oh, and it's gone all the way in. Ukraine lead. A disaster for Caoimhín Kelleher in the Irish goal. Oh, it's the substitute, Viktor Chigankov. His left-footed strike. It was an in-swinger. It missed everybody. Kelleher waited for the touch, and the touch never came. He reacted too late, and all he could do was palm it into the top of the Irish net.
That was the only goal of the game, came just after the restart, and it was a deserved goal. You'd have to say at half-time we were making the point that Ukraine were by far the better team from pretty much the 12th minute onwards, when they started to really dominate after Jason Knight did enough in the first 13 minutes to win man of the match. We weren't exactly spoiled for choice on that front. He did have a very good 13 minutes. Thereafter, though, Ukraine the better side, and so Stephen Kenny and Ireland are 0 for 2 in this Nations League campaign, with Scotland to come on Saturday, and then more than a tricky assignment away to Ukraine in Poland, of course. Stuey Byrne watched that 90 minutes alongside Nathan Murphy. The stats somewhat misleading, because you could glance at the statistics and see that 14 shots apiece, 4 shots on target apiece. Ireland 47% possession to Ukraine's 53%. I think those two, you would have to say that really last 15 minutes or so Ukraine were happy with their lot and Ireland managed a flurry of chances, but the better team won this game.
Yeah, and I think, you certainly alluded to those stats, and I saw them put on the screen as well, and not hugely surprised to see that the stats were kind of very similar, with the exception of the possession stat, which was in the favour of the Ukrainians. We did have opportunities in the game, there's no doubt about it, especially in the last 15-20 minutes. And it came from, a little bit of hustle and bustle, some crosses, set pieces, which we hadn't really looked a threat from, I don't think, anyway, in recent times. However, we did tonight, and we just couldn't hit the target. You'd have to give credit to Lunan for a wonderful fingertip save from Shane Duffy. That goes in, it puts a little bit of a gloss on the performance, but I think I don't want there to be a gloss on the performance. I think we have to look at where we are at now, and we have to be honest with ourselves, and we have come to a certain point, a certain crossroads in the road. I think we've kind of maximised I don't know. I think this whole sort of philosophy of trying to be a footballing team has kind of hit a little bit of a brick wall, and it's now at a stage where it needs to be taken on by the players. I think when you look at the Ukrainians, Joe, have a look at them individually. So comfortable on the ball, so comfortable turning, so aware of the space that's around them. 2 yards, 3 yards, it's not a problem to them. They know how to get themselves into trouble. If there's 10 yards in front of them, they're stepping into that 10 yards, and that's the difference now. We're now at a stage where, in order for this project, or in order for Stephen Kenny's era as manager to progress forward, the players, the coaching staff, they're going to need to get it into the heads of these players that they're going to have to be much more quicker with their passing, better with their decision making. Have a look at the Ukrainians tonight. People obviously listening to the radio wouldn't have seen it, but they were hungry to win the ball back. They had this ability to be able to win the ball back high at the pitch, to be able to read passes, step into the game. They're reading the game all the time. It's football intelligence, and technically a better side, but it's they're at a level where we need to get to.
John in Limerick says, lads, Ireland very poor, technically weak. If you can't make your passes, you might as well throw your hat at it. Kenny making zero marginal improvements game after game. Depressing. That's John in Limerick. I agree totally with your point. Too often Irish players are making basic mistakes. No tactical innovations, no tactical setup beyond lump the ball forward, which is what we're trying to get away from, because that day is dead and gone. That's not going to work anymore. No tactical innovations can overcome the lack of quality we're seeing moment to moment from too many Irish players. And let me give you an example of the good. First minute, Jason Knight, ball into him, rolls a player, clever bit of movement, open things up, away we go.
Yeah.
Where's that for the other 70 minutes?
So I have to come in on your point there, which is, and it's right. See, this is the world of football, Joe, right? We all read from the same book. Tactics are tactics, okay? There's no great... Ukraine don't have any great mystery that we don't know about. They all do the same physical conditioning. They all do the same gym work. They all eat the same food. They all drink the same drink. They all read the same books. The coaches all do the same. The difference between being good, being better, and being top class is players and, quality and movement and decision making, and it comes from players. So now I'm not here preaching, I know the answers, but I know we have to get to that level. We used to have those kind of players in this country, the Liam Brady's, we had Wes Houlihan not too recent time, and so how do we get this group of players to start thinking differently about their game? They're playing for clubs that might play a certain way, might have a certain philosophy. You know, this is the problem.
No,
this is now the problem.
It's the question. It's the question. Do you know what the worrying thing is? When Stephen Kenny first asked this team to play like this, certain players really struggled for a time. Shane Duffy is the perfect example. Shane Duffy was in over his head with what Kenny was asking him to do. And then somewhere last year, we hit a sweet spot. And Shane Duffy exemplified all that was good about what Kenny was trying to do. And he looked like a player reborn. Here we are 6 months on. And we've either hit a speed bump or there's something more serious going on. We all hope it's a speed bump, but it makes Scotland at the weekend very important.
It does, and I was just going to say there's no let up because Scotland are no mugs. Scotland, very, very good side. We've got to play Ukraine again next week.
Well, look, Ukraine in Poland with their big guns back.
Yeah, I mean, it really, in the overall scheme of things, you know, realistically. And if Stephen is genuinely, and I do believe he is, trying to change the culture of Irish football, trying to get us, he has to be brave and he has to try and get it into the heads of these players that we're maxed out at the moment unless we start trying to have it, unless the players start trying to change their philosophy on the game. You know, just look at the Ukrainians. You know, they're not physically taller than us. They're not physically bigger than us. They just think differently.
And they did very few things which took your breath away or were outstanding or beyond the reaches of Irish players. But in all the tiny little moments, the tiny little decisions, the little breakaways where Ukraine take the right option and Ireland take the wrong option, the misplaced passes, which became a factor for Ireland, especially in the second half. In all those tiny little moments, Ukraine are simply more efficient. They're not more outstanding. They're not more glamorous. They're just doing simpler things better.
Do you know what it was, Joe? And I've seen it in the Serbians as well. Okay, and I think Serbia are probably the best team we've played in this ground for probably 4 or 5 years. No doubt about it.
I remember you raving about them.
They have an inner confidence.
Yeah,
they just have it in them. It's just that they're born from kids, and their mother and dad basically say, "You're dead. You're brilliant.
Yeah,
you're brilliant.
Yeah,
like you are going to be the best of the." And they just have this inner confidence in them. And they step onto the pitch and their chest is out and they just have it in their head, no one's going to get the better of me today and I'm going to do my stuff. And I'm not trying to say we don't have that.
Yeah.
But these teams, and when I talk about these teams, I'm talking about the teams that are above us. They just have this inner confidence that I'd love to know what, if it was in a bottle, it'd be worth a fortune.
Yeah. Stewie, we got to go. Stewie, you're brilliant.
So are you, Joe.
You're brilliant. We got to go. It's a disappointing night for Ireland and Scotland to come very quickly. So interesting week ahead. Football and off the ball with thanks to Sky, proud partner of the women's national football team. Out, believe together, and we can go anywhere. OTB AM with loads of reaction tomorrow morning. Nathan's going to go down and talk to the players. I'm sure that will be up in our social channels. And we'll be back tomorrow evening as usual, 7 o'clock.